Yo, yo. The NFL playoffs are here. The NFL regular season is over, but the dynasty season is never over. Jeremy, congratulations on your Panthers getting a huge lose, but still in this weekend. Go Panthers. How you feeling about the Rams matchup?
Well, I mean, you don't have to do the reality check yet for me of how do you feel about playing, the 12-win Rams or whatever. But the Panthers are finally in the playoffs. First time since like 2017. It feels good to just somehow make it, right? Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like we're putting everything together. It doesn't feel like we're heading in the right direction overall. Like I don't feel super confident. But it's just nice that it's like, okay, we're in the playoffs. Like we at least check that off.
One of the
We're not one of
teams.
the teams that hasn't been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you're not the Jets and the Browns, and you're not like that graphic anymore. Like we're at least in the okay, you made the playoffs
Sense
recently.
graphic, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just happy to be out of that. I'm optimistic. Sure, they did beat the Rams. Like maybe something happens. Football can be weird, but I think ultimately the Rams are just going to take care of business. There's a reason where the first game of the week, where the oh crap, there's football on game of the week, and I will be watching it all, but it's going to it's not going to be the one that's the most exciting or closest.
Hey, so, any given Saturday, right? Any
given Saturday. Doesn't hit the same, but yeah, I'm just excited to be invited. It's like, oh, thanks. Like, I didn't know I even had the chance to get here.
Yeah. Alas, my Lions were not invited, but big win over the Bears this weekend, 2-0 against the Bears, who are in the playoffs. But we can put the Lions need Ben Johnson thing to rest. No, I'm just kidding. I just that tilts me on the internet when I see it. As a
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. We had a decent
notes. You know what buttons to push in chat.
We had a decent fantasy season. I'm wearing a trophy right now. This is actually from the Jersey League I was talking about. It came. Shout out to Eric. Thank you, the cool commissioner. That the trophy is a jersey he buys for somebody. What up, Big Diaz? Yo, congrats to the Panthers, Jeremy. I didn't want to mention this. I know I said something about I was gonna find that Panther shirt that I had and wear it and take a picture and put it in the Discord. I couldn't find it, so I feel a little bit at fault. I wasn't truly rooting for the Panthers in that loss to the Bucks. That's on me. My bad.
Well, that's why they lost. It wasn't all the rain and the refs and just
no Saints gear
going wrong.
No Saints gear though either. So I got you. Gotta feel bad for the Panthers though. I don't think you gotta feel bad until like the third quarter of that game, and then you're like, then they're in the playoffs though. Somebody has to win the division.
Okay, Luke. Okay.
Yeah. This is tough.
I'm gonna go out here. What draft pick? Pick what 16 versus pick 19?
Yeah, that's true.
We can at least say, hey, we accomplished something of actually making the playoffs, actually winning a division for the first time since 2015. It's been over a decade since we won the division. Sure, I know it's the Mountain of Poop division. I know
the
it's
8-9 division
to be
clinched.
Proud of. It's basically a participation trophy, but it's still something. It's still something. The Bucks don't have it. The Falcons don't have it. The Saints.
The Falcons, man. Especially at the end of the season.
We improved.
Didn't they lose to the Jets this year too? They could have easily been the captain of crap. We improved.
I know. It was I'm just happy. It kind of reminds me, and this is what I'm hoping for. I was talking to Will before the show. It kind of reminds me of the Panthers a while ago. I think it was like 2012 when they went 7-8-1. It was early Cam, early Kuechly, like we're still figuring it out. We went 7-8-1, won the division, beat a banged up Cardinals team, which was a pretty bad team because I think Carson Palmer was out. So expectations were low. But we made it, and it kind of helped build the culture a little bit. Like, to me, this is like a culture win. It's like, we are in here, even though we lost. A culture loss.
A culture loss.
Honestly, this is a moral victory more than anything. But just making it and being like, okay, like, this is going to be the expectation going forward, is that we can be in the mix more.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. There are certainly some winnable games on our schedule. Like, you can go back and look at both the Saints games and things like that. To me, that's just where I'm like, I hope this is the building point until we're like talking about, hey, Bryce Young, 2027, 2028 Bryce Young, MVP season. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, obviously, I think that's being hyperbolic.
You're the last person I would think would say that.
But yeah, I just mean, like, I hope this is like more of the building block and not like, okay, like that was a weird team, because I mean that's what people thought with that 7-8-1 team, and we saw they put together a couple good playoff runs after that as well. So I'm just happy to be here. It's been a long time. I don't really care about the 16th pick versus the 19th pick. Now, is it a top 10 pick versus the 20th? Sure, I would care about that, but it's not like we would get that much better of a pick that it really matters.
Yeah, I am just happy that game did not end up mattering. That like weird, wet, rainy game. The flea flicker fumble that like kind of at one time looked like
that broke my
Bryce didn't want it enough when he like didn't like dive on the ball, but I think he thought he
did the Cam Newton football.
He did a little bit, but after rewatching, I do want to give some credit to like he still thinks he could have like snagged it and like continued on with the play. I think is where he was at. But yeah, we don't need to analyze the Bryce Young loss. Huge game this weekend, but I think actually I want to hit these. What up, James? What up, Jens? The Dynasty Wrapped was epic. Nice work. Sleeper should hire you. Yeah, it was pretty fun. If you want to take a look, last stream, we went through the Alpha Daddy Wrapped. We got some insight. I learned some stuff about how my song choice was actually due to me having the worst flex setting of the season. So definitely recommend checking that out.
It was fun to kind of have the backdrop of Wrap to kind of talk through trades and league stuff, especially because these next couple weeks aren't a bunch of people's leagues aren't technically live, so people aren't always asking trades and things like that. It's a lot more okay, like let me enjoy the playoffs. Some people are degens and thinking about what am I going to do different this year, but it's kind of like this transition period as we get ready for 2026. So it's nice to look back and relive everything, and I wanted to put a lot of effort into it. I upgraded a lot of Wrapped this year, and I'm excited to it's always a fun time when people are joining and asking for Wrapped stuff. I do think next year I'll do it earlier. That's my personal note, is I've always do it after the
it's got to be hard.
Finals.
It's got to be hard data wise though, because even some of it, Sleeper doesn't finalize the championship stuff. Like that stuff is not always 100% accurate right after, because it waits until whatever the Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday's the stat correction day. So after that, that's when they finalize things. But it's also like during the week of New Year's, and from a peel back the curtains of like people searching stuff. People are not online between Christmas, New Year's. Like that time is just dead in terms of web traffic in general. So it's like if I'm launching a feature or trying to get people on, that's not as exciting. And then also around week 14 is when Spotify Wrapped actually launches. And every year I see people being like, oh, like I wish it was a fantasy football Wrapped. And I'm like, I have it, but I feel like I have to wait till the end of the season. But now I'm like, nah, next year I'm definitely dropping it just after week 14.
Yeah, then, I like that. You can the regular season Wrapped kind of, and it'll
enjoy it.
I think that'll be cool too for like redraft leagues too, alongside dynasty stuff, because that regular season matters. Yeah, that's sick. Let's go. We I know we had it's Black. Well, I guess it's Tuesday now, but it was Black Monday yesterday, and I think Black Monday's extended into Tuesday today with we got some big news with the Harbaugh firing as well. But before we even get into that, one last announcement. I said it was going to happen a couple weeks ago, And by golly, it's going to happen. The playoff best ball stream, it exists, and it will be on the channel Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check it out. And even pulled together a little, here's what you're going to be looking at. It's a cool format. So I'll be drafting some teams, talking through some Dynasty Q&A, or, if you're familiar and want to play the format, best ball. Yeah, it'll be it's a wet and wild time. Worst case.
I like the bracket overlay. That's pretty sick.
Thank you. Yeah, your Panthers are on there, but it's something I need too. If you guys aren't familiar with the format, I won't do the full breakdown, but it is very much so drafting a team that you want to be fully rostering a playoff team that can hit a quarterback, running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and a flex position from a team from the NFC and the AFC, obviously. But obviously, if you are building too much of one team, or if you were me and drafting some Lions teams a couple weeks ago, those teams will not advance far enough through your pods. But I'll explain it all.
All those Jahmyr Gibbs playoff shares are getting you his jersey number right now.
But worst case, if you guys want to hang out 9 p.m. Eastern time and even just talk through Dynasty offseason stuff. I mean, we're going to be doing it all through the offseason. If you have ideas for stuff that you want us to do, I'm sure we'll do a ton of rookie mock drafts, just mock drafts in general for, Dynasty startups with, rookie picks, wherever those are valued against other players. But we'll be hitting the content all throughout the off season. See you guys Thursday. Let's go. What's up, William? First time being able to watch a stream in a while. Hopefully it was a successful fantasy year for you. Rams versus Pats Super Bowl. Yeah, it's also the MVP. The MVP race right now, which it sounds like, and I'm a little surprised. But I think Stafford is the favorite. I mean, I think leading the league in both passing yards and touchdowns is probably what's the nod. A little bit of a lifetime achievement thing. Obviously, Drake May is having an awesome season. Who's your MVP?
I think the two arguments are the Patriots schedule is so easy that it's like, okay, like how much are we going to reward that? But then it's also like Stafford didn't win his division. And they've been somewhat inconsistent towards the end of the year. I lean just Stafford though. I just feel like to me, it was like Drake May was awesome, but I'm still, and that might just be the NC State bias in me being like, I can't let a Chapel Hill quarterback get MVP. But to me, I'm just like, I feel like Stafford is the one that I'm going to remember more currently. And I hope, I think May will do well, but he just hasn't really been tested a ton outside of like the Bills. And even the Bills, like, they had that one big meltdown, and then the early one was very impressive. But I do think Drake May has done a lot with less, but he's also played against less. So it's pretty like even in my opinion. I feel like I could go either way. I feel like 1 hour I feel this way, another hour I'm like, well, Drake May has done a lot. Like with what Jaden says, less weapons, less O-line, less turnovers, it's hard to say. It's like, which stats do you care about more? Like, what do you put more weight into?
I think my only take is like the worst take I've seen is that it's like clearly one versus the other. Like obviously even the sportsbook odds are close. Like it is favoring Stafford at this point. But I saw like a lot of like advanced metric stuff, like is like very heavily pointed in Drake May's favor as far as like EPA, a lot of like the quarterback passing metric stuff.
All the Jokic stats.
Yes. Yeah. And I saw one of those charts and I was looking at it and I was like, where's passing yards? Where's passing touchdowns? Like those seem like very basic comparison, regardless of like how you think that factors into the better quarterback or whatever the MVP. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, like, do you think that these matter? Passing yards, passing touchdowns for QB comparison for the MVP? And everyone's like, nah, doesn't matter. He's got better EPA, bro. So I think it's a little it's a tight race. I'm leaning Stafford though. Ooh. We do got to talk about, we got a Ravens fan here. I'm going to pull up the graphic right now. I'm going to force us to get into it. We don't have to get too takey with like predicting
I think we got to.
The head coach swaps, all of the analysis of
Canales for Harbaugh.
But man, and I think a pretty obvious going to have a new home soon. But the Ravens parting ways with Harbaugh. And there's been a couple. I was talking to you before the stream. We'll talk about Stefanski in a while, or in a little bit. But man, I think a lot of good coaches hitting the market with some vacancies. And I don't even know if we're 100% done. Obviously, we got the news about Cliff Kingsbury as well. But was this pretty surprising to you, even after some of the buzz leading into the Ravens-Steelers game?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was very shocking because still I looked at the Ravens season, and to me, the biggest thing was injuries, right? Especially to Lamar, where I was like, well, the injuries to Lamar and some of their offensive talent is the reason they weren't as good. And they were still one missed field goal away from being in and being a team that people wouldn't really want to play. So to me, I'm like, I feel like this is kind of overreactionary given the team that's been constructed there for the past 6 or so years. And even before that, like they've always been relevant. They've always been the top team. They put together, 1 seeds recently. They got an MVP years out of Lamar. Like to me, I feel like that unit is just solid that I'm surprised they got rid of it. That being said, we did see some weird reports with like Lamar might not be with the team anymore. Like there's been some weird reports before this of just crazy stuff. And, no shade to the Ravens fans out there. I know the ones I know in my life, they're always, complaining about Lamar. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I would gladly take Lamar off your hands.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
every Jared Goff sack, I'm like, oh, buddy. Yeah. The small period of time where I thought there was a chance that Lamar was on the market.
Yeah, I'm like, I think there's maybe 5 teams that wouldn't take Lamar. So to me, I'm like, okay, like enjoy having one of the best quarterbacks because that is just fun to watch. Even if your team is struggling, having Lamar back there doing amazing stuff is amazing. But yeah, I mean, that was certainly surprising. I think he's been there 18 years. I get wanting to shake it up, but I also think when you have stability for 18 years, it's similar with the Steelers. It's like, it's a long way down. It's easy to start getting into bad coaching schemes or bad GMs or front offices. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, I just wish we could, be the Panthers and get to the playoffs once. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that's where I've been for the past. Oh, we got the shiny Matt Rule hire. We get the consistent most coaching experience ever, Ross, with Frank Wright and all that. It's like, it's easy to have so much churn and burn once you start going back to that. It's hard to kind of get a guy that, even if through the ups and downs, like the down is like, oh no, he only won 8 games. You can live with that. It's not, oh, he bottomed out at 3 games. Yeah. So that's kind of the surprising thing with like the Harbaugh. I get the Stefanski a little bit more because that just, it's like he's putting up 3-win seasons still. But I mean, I think Harbaugh, like if you're like a Giants, I've heard the Giants rumors, like William said, that's perfect, right? You just want someone that, I mean, like everyone, I have a bunch of Steelers fans in my life. They're like, get rid of Tomlin. I'm like, I will gladly take a 8 to 10 win season every single year and never really be a serious contender. Mm-hmm. As a Panthers fan, I would have that every year. And I think pretty much 20 teams would just, rather have that than be constantly at the well trying to find these guys. So it can be hard. But that being said, you could totally flip it over. And I think Brian Flores is certainly a lot of big name. I mean, there's so many good names out there this year. This is something too that's really interesting. It's like kind of the reverse of college football, where I feel like a lot of teams in college football were like, oh crap, all these big programs have opened up. So there's not a ton of good names out there to get. Whereas in NFL, it's like there's so many big names available, especially with Stefanski, Harbaugh, Brian Flores, Cliff Kingsbury kind of revitalized his career in a way. There's a lot of opportunities, and the Dolphins might move off of their guy. So it's like there's a lot of guys that are desirable that could totally find a decent landing spot.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd referred to, and I feel bad. I like Stefanski, but like as far as like bad team head coaches, or in terms of like you feel like there's been a long period of time. I like Stefanski, so I think you know, like you had mentioned, a couple of these guys are very quickly going to be getting new jobs. I know Brian Flores is a big name of you know, obviously not recently fired, but deserving of a head coach spot, and has been for a minute. And as somebody with Brian Flores in the division, I concur with Diaz's.
You're like, please get him out of here.
Yeah, Flores.
I mean,
just
I heard rumors to Vegas for him.
Yeah, we also, I mean, speaking of Vegas, we got the, I mean, first overall pick as well. You know, as far as if you like Mendoza, you know, the head coach taking over alongside the rookie quarterback, tale as old as time, you know, worst team firing their head coach.
With him and Tua.
Yeah, let him run it back. Mendoza's got some thicker skin than Tua. Come on.
That's very true.
What do we think? I was about to say, what do we think of Tua? What's the plan there? But I don't know how much time I can devote to that. I do want to. I saw this from Beast Nides. What's up, fellas? Hope you y'all had a good couple holidays. Thank you, and I know you had a good holiday with that big Bill game against the Cowboys. I forgot to play. I didn't forget to play my Bill when Chris Rodriguez got rolled out week 16. But there was one. Late, right? There was one I was debating, and I think I played Tyrone Tracy over Bill. You live, you learn. I think I still advanced though.
109, baby.
All right, we do have a dynasty question, and I have a follow up. Justin, what's the tight end premium? Because Tyler Warren in a 1 QB, I think is interesting, like compared to positional players, especially in that kind of format. But yeah, let us know if there's anything wonky about the format or any tight end premium. No premium.
No premium.
It is kind of interesting because no premium, like I am very much tight ends don't matter. But if it's like a PPR, non-super flex, and it's like I mean, how many starters are we talking? Because I think in these like super shallow leagues, I'm a little bit more inclined to just like take the bet on like, can this tight end be a difference maker? But I am also in no tight end premium, not wanting to use that pick. Oh, start 9. Yeah.
I think in this format, I'm probably saying, hey, is the rookie age discount, am I able to kind of cash that out somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, can I get either a tier down at the tight end position and pick up like a second on top, or can I put it into a position like running back or wide receiver that are going to matter in my position a lot more? Because the hard part in these leagues, and I say it a lot, but in most leagues, but especially one quarterback, like most tight ends are pretty much addressed. Everyone probably has someone that they feel decent about.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, oh, let me go look at this guy. And he's like, oh, he has Harold Fannin. Well, oh, this guy has Gadsden. Oh, this guy has, I was going to say Zach Ertz, but Hunter Henry. Like, there's guys that you're like, okay, I feel fine with. I'm not going to pay up for that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of times it's very hard in non-tight end premium leagues, especially shallow leagues, to get the value, like the Dynasty Daddy value or the KTC value of those players. Kind of, yeah, it's kind of like this own market of like, oh, only these players are worth this value, but you can't really trade them cross positionally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just pulling up the Dynasty Daddy single quarterback rankings right now, and just kind of thinking about like no tight end premium if I was in a startup, like compared to some of these receivers as well. I think that's an interesting conversation as far as like you're making the draft selection, like the Lad McConkey, Roma Dunze, like upside bet young receivers versus upside bet at the singular tight end position, I think is interesting. But as far as like against like Lamar Jackson, like I know disappointing injury season, but like as far as like difference making production goes, I definitely am pushing down Tyler Warren 100% versus like Jalen Hurts in packages where I can use a discount like you talked about to get like, you know, Jacobs plus, Derrick Henry plus.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden Daniels plus off a down year. Yeah. Just because
there's so much I'd rather have.
Yeah.
And I feel like the price just doesn't line up a lot. Like you'll see the price on on Dynasty Daddy, and it's like some trades are, but it's very hard to find people willing to pay a ton for a tight end.
Tight end is also kind of, I mean, we talk about it, but like obviously in single quarterback as well. Like if tight ends don't matter as much, you're not wanting to put tight ends into your flex with no tight end premium. They're probably even more available on the waiver wire, especially in these shallow leagues with shallower benches. And I mean, you're at tight end 16, Dallas Goedert, who gave you a ton of great weeks this year. You know, like paying tight end 16, Dallas Goedert, tight end 15, Brenton Strange prices. Tight end 14, Jake Tonjes. Let's go. Okay.
The Tonjes hype is real.
Let's go. Dang. I got bounced in the second round of the playoffs after being in first place in the top score in the regular season. It do be like that. This was a tough year, especially with some like playoff dudders. Like absolutely guys who absolutely carried you, like JSN, Jonathan Taylor, even Puka.
Yes.
I mean, Puka more so from playoffs to the finals week as far as like expectations.
I was about to say Puka did have that one, like 260 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
which was one of my favorite games of the year. It was just watching.
He could have had more
Puka
too.
And JSN duel it out. That was beautiful.
Saffron missed him on one. Oof. 120 all rostered. All right, we got a trade here. Human factors. What's good? UCF? Considering this as a trade, Cam Ward and the 26-104 for Wandale and a pile of picks, 211, 311, 408, 411, 412. Yeah. I'm taking the, I mean,
12-team super flex.
Even in a single quarterback, I'm taking the Cam Ward 104. And I don't even really feel the need to ask the follow-up question of like how deep the format is. It'd have to be like crazy deep, best ball, single quarterback for me to care about the other side, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely take the Cam Ward side. And this is something I would say. If you accept that as quick as you can. Because if I do post on the Twitter, on Reddit, and I'll make little graphics of trades that go through. And if I
got you, Jeremy.
Trade,
just give me a moment, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm just saying, if I posted that on Reddit, people on there would be like, there's no way someone would do this trade. There's no way. Like, this is stupid. But people do those trades. So what I'm saying is that's such a good deal that you're getting the 2 best assets in the deal. And the other guy's just getting like 15 flyers late in the draft. And sure, he might hit on next year's Gadsden or next year's, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Cool. You have the 104. So you're going to have Cardinal Tate. You're going to have, I don't know, Mendoza, someone like that. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then Cam Ward does look pretty solid, in my opinion. His situation isn't amazing, but he has progressed. We could see him take a next step forward, especially as his team gets better.
He's going to get a new head coach, and there's some good.
I think that's an easy deal.
Yeah, there's some fun, exciting head coach options now. I feel like I just saw, what was it? Was it Jason Garrett? Was that the name I saw interviewing at the Titans?
I did see. Was it the Titans? Yeah, it was the Titans.
But that is not the interesting name I'm talking about as far as head coach hirings. But like in terms of fantasy, dynasty, ADV, artificial dynasty value associated with a player, I think Cam Ward had a good end of the season, is going to get reclamation project vibes like we saw from Trevor Lawrence too.
Please no. Arthur Smith. Cam Ward getting Arthur Smith would be awful.
Oh, geez. One side is super heavy at QB, but weak at all other. Dynasty Daddy listed as fraud. The other is doing okay at most spots, but looking to bolster the QB room. Yeah, I mean, geez, Cam Ward in the 104. Like the other side, like Wandale, great season, but I mean, give me the 104 easily over Wandale. I mean, I probably am not even considering Wandale, even with expectations for this class, anything more than like a very late first, early second, and I would never pay those prices.
In a 12-team Superflex 0.75 tight end premium, are you taking Wandale or Cam Ward straight up?
How many starters?
Let's just say 10.
There probably are teams that I would consider doing that kind of move, and Cam Ward would be like it's tough because like Cam Ward would be the piece I would probably not move. Because I don't feel like I could get a nice return, but I'm probably taking Wandale.
Okay.
We'll see.
Like, see, I think that's somewhat close. Like Wandale's kind of like Adam Thielen-esque, like always going to be underrated, put up solid 1,000-yard seasons, and be like a decent flex player.
Yeah.
That being said, in a vacuum, are you taking the 211, 311, 408, 411, and 412, or the 104? Like, it's obvious.
There were no ones. There were no ones there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so even if you're like, okay, they're even, you're still getting a huge advantage of I'm getting I'm getting the high early pick versus all these late pieces. The 211 is barely a second to begin with. I mean, you're looking at last year, at best you're getting like a random wide receiver that might hit, maybe Harold Fannin type, but it's still, you got to hit on those picks, and those are a lot harder than, I got Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah. Yeah. Pile of picks is, I mean, we talk about consolidation honestly, I wouldn't even consider this like a consolidation. I mean, it's obviously in a consolidation, but like a realistic consolidation, like the 104, especially at this point in the offseason versus, Wandale, I think would have to be a better piece, and or we're talking a late first as a part of that pile of picks.
He did say, would you potentially drop the second and third and replace with Josh Jacobs? So I wonder, is this like a trade he's cooking up?
I think so. Considering this is a trade, colon is what I'm seeing. So yeah, so let's say that 311 was Jacobs. You're getting Wandale 211. The big crux of the piece is you're moving Cam Ward in the 104, and your big return is Jacobs, Wandale.
I guess too, the side with Cam Ward's probably super heavy at quarterback. So they might be like, okay, I don't really need a Cam Ward potentially burning a hole in my back pocket.
I just think that 104 is going to be so valuable. Like if you're on the other side of this, it's in the kitchen. There we go. Nice.
The kitchen. Yeah, I agree. I think Jacobs, Wandale gets closer, but I also think we're at the point where it's going to be hard to move up into that top 4.
Yeah. We're just so confident.
The top 4 or 5.
Yeah. It's very possible we see, 3 receivers, a running back, 2 quarterbacks in the first round. And then the 104 has not only hype in terms of first round positional players, but also the flexibility of a quarterback at that spot in its own right, Daniels, Dart, McCarthy, Smith. Oh, you do kind of have to make does have to move off.
Dang, yeah, he does have a ton of quarterbacks.
But the 104.
Yeah, the issue is the 104 makes it hard. I'm curious, like, what players you would have that you could potentially add.
This probably should just end up being Cam Ward, Wandale type conversation.
Yeah, I think really it's like, okay, like, do you want the 104 or do you want Cam Ward? Because I do think Wendell Robinson for Cam Ward, especially with all the quarterbacks he has, like you said, probably makes sense, especially in a 1 quarterback league. Or not 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback. I was looking at the JD message. But the 2 quarterback league, I think that's probably about fair for both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Ray? We'll see. Am I the only one surprised that people are mocking 3+ receivers in the first round? I thought it was a weak class. Yeah. I think the quarterback class, especially in Superflex, people were nervous about. I think like a lot of the names that people had like penciled in, of like, we're going to get 3 early quarterbacks. Running back class feels a little bit weak, but there's a lot of running backs I like. I think we'll get a handful. And I'm like kind of just starting to like really, really get into the class. Like obviously you have to wait for all the commits, and there's still a lot that you won't see obviously until the end of the college football playoffs. Like I think there's a lot of players that, base some decisions off of how that goes, especially with some NIL stuff that I think muddies the waters of expectations for commits. But yeah, I think very possible. It's, two, maybe 3 quarterbacks first round. But I think if we get Dante Moore coming out, I think Mendoza and Moore will be pretty locks for early.
Yeah, but they'll be 1-2 for sure.
Yeah, especially with, Raiders, Jets up there. I mean, Cardinals at 3 also. But I don't think we'll see 3 quarterbacks there. But
I think 3 wide receivers in the first might be a little low.
Yeah.
I think we might be pushing more 4.
Especially in that 5. That 20 range, like the JSN, where the Keon Coleman late first.
Because
I think
we
we'll
have
get a handful
guys of Tyson, Tate, and Lemon, who everyone is already kind of crowned is like mid to early first wide receivers. But then we also have Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion as well.
Yeah,
that I've seen mocked a lot of those early 20s and those are going to be interesting spots that people like.
100%.
Like Bills.
How about the Patriots, man? I mean, probably not.
Yeah, Patriots.
Probably not, but like
that might be a little bit later.
I'm just thinking in terms of like picking in that like playoff pick range. Like there's wide receivers that 100% could go in that range. Like Bills, like you had just mentioned, is obvious. I mean, even
I have the mock draft. Was it the consensus big board from NFL mock draft database has 5 in the first. Has Tyson going to the Saints, Tate to the Giants, Lemon to the Jets, Denzel Boston from Washington to Philly, probably as like a AJ Brown replacement, and then you got Casey Concepcion to the Bills.
Yeah,
which I mean, you look at some of those spots, you got to feel pretty good. I mean, I don't think people, as someone that doubled down on the Eagles' passing offense in one league in particular, not the most exciting, but again, I mean, if we get 5 first-round wide receivers, you're going to start looking at the 106, 107, 108, and be like, these picks aren't that bad. You're not getting the high value of I get to pick whoever, but you're still going to get the first-round talent.
And what if what if Sadiq is a mid-late first tight end, or even early second, like with some of the early second round hits we've had at the tight end position. Like I think like the late firsts. Like Ray was talking about here, Matthew Golden, Keon Coleman. We've got some like recent burnt late 20s.
Late 20s, you gotta know. You gotta know it is a different mix. It's a mixed bag, right? You do have the Goldens and the Keons, like they're not the same caliber as I'm taking a wide receiver in the top 15.
Yeah,
there's a different level of conviction there.
But I still think it is. And I mean, we don't have to do the Igbuka thing right now, but like first round pick, utilizing a first round pick on a positional player, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, like the hope and assumption, and we've got some rookie class stuff for some of these guys. Like I think the Matthew Golden situation is tough. Obviously Keon, that has been unique, but for every Keon and Matthew Golden, there's a JSN, right? What was that pick? Was he 19?
I think
20, 21? That was the.
I mean, I will say too.
Zay Flowers.
With both the Coleman and the Goldens, their college production wasn't high volume, right? A lot of these other guys that succeed in those later picks, they're still dominant wide receiver ones in college, or still having high volume, which is something with Golden. You're like, well, he only had like 600 something. I think he had 700 or 800 yards in college, and it's like, wait a minute, like, what is it? And it's like he fills a certain role on the team. But for fantasy, it might not be the role that we want. And similar to Keon, it's the contested catch guy. It's like, is he going to earn enough targets to really be valuable? Now, obviously, he's had some off-the-field stuff that we don't really know what's going on there. But still, it's like, I think the volume, you want to make sure if you're vesting in those, late 20s, that they're at least getting volume in college. Because otherwise, you might end up with, like, players that have issues. You might end up with a Leggett, which I have to deal with every Sunday when I watch the Panthers.
Yeah, and some of these names, like the, KC in Boston, I mean, this is all like early draft buzz. Like, I think what everyone should do that is making meaningful dynasty trades, and you know what, I should have done this ready for the show. Maybe next week I'll do this, and I'll put together some early mock, like legitimate early mocks from last season for the 2025 draft so that people can kind of get a look and a picture at here were some of the names people were talking about, right around, I'll try to look for college football playoff time, like right after, and because I'm sure we've got some early ones from right when a lot of the declares had happened, but there will be names that will surprise you, spots, multiple rounds off for players that rose through the combine, through, Senior Bowl stuff. So like we are insanely early, and this is all just, I think, general feelings that you start to feel more confident on as you get more buzz, and we get through the rest of the college football playoffs, we get Senior Bowl stuff as well, obviously combine, and you start to get a better feel for where players will go, and sportsbook odds for a number of receivers in the first round.
I think it's a good practice to, like, as a dynasty player, you want to try to draw that line and figure out, okay, do I have the 106? Is that a decent spot? Do I have the 109? Right? Like, how valuable are the picks? Where's the drop off? And trying to figure out where that is as soon as possible and make those moves. Because originally, once we have once everyone starts talking about it, they start building their own consensus of, oh, well, it's a top 4 pick. I'm not moving that. That's a top 3 wide receiver, Mendoza. It's like, okay, well, what if we also have Dante Moore? Now, all of a sudden, is that top 5? Now maybe that 105 that we thought was less valuable is more valuable. And then what happens if Sadiq, right, on the mock draft database right now, Kenyon Sadiq, 19 to the Panthers. What if first round tight end? Now, all of a sudden, especially in tight end premiums, is it more of a 106, 107? So there's a lot of, I think it's important to try to find that line, because the sooner you do that, you might be able to get a little bit of an edge before the consensus comes in and everyone's like, no, I can't move the 106 because that's a top 2 quarterback or one of the top 4 wide receivers.
Yeah. I'm gonna give my quick thought here, and actually we probably should come back to this one, get predicting the early tier, because I do think that the one big trade that is like people are like wanting to call their shots on early enough is these, like, what is the tier of, like, I'm gonna get is it 3 receivers early first with the run with Jeremiah Love, and then if quarterback matters in my league, like, do I feel confident in the top 5? I've heard you mention top 5 before. Is that a little bit of you feel good about those 3 receivers? Jeremiah Love feels like a lock first round early, probably in the Genty, Bijan, Gibbs range, and then a quarterback in Superflex, be it Moore, Mendoza, one probably 1-2 if they declare.
Yeah, I mean, I will say where I'm at currently is it's somewhat league dependent, but
right.
If Moore doesn't declare, top 5's locked in. I feel great about having any of the top 5 picks. If Moore does declare, I feel perfectly fine about all 6 picks. We don't know what quarterback's going to be better. Dante Moore has flashed. We've seen people poop on Drake May and be like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. And guess what? They all kind of look good now, right? But you obviously would want Drake May right now in terms of, trade value. But still, all of them have turned out great. That to me, I'm like, I feel fine in a Dynasty Superflex having any of the top 6 picks right now. And I would consider them blue chip prospects. They might not be the Jinty or the Love caliber. Like, you're not going to walk into having neighbors at the 104 every year. That doesn't happen. But these are guys that could become the next Egbukas or those caliber players where people are like, I can't move him. He's a centerpiece.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, Feelings, Drake London.
Yeah. If in tight end premium, I would say probably, depending on if Moore declares, I would include Sadiq Bey, or not Sadiq Bey. I did it again. Kenyon Sadiq in that, because if you get a first round tight end, that's just going to be a huge advantage. And he's been pretty impressive so far. And there's not many first round tight ends that aren't also utilized a lot in the offense. And in the tight end premium, I don't even need that much, right? I need, like, give me 6 to 10 targets a game, and you're gonna be way better than most tight ends we have currently. Yeah. Because right now it's literally Trey McBride, and then everyone else is basically the same. So the fact that I could get a shot on someone that has a
Bowers will be
bigger
back.
role in an offense, yeah, I would feel really confident about. Yeah, certainly toss in Bowers.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit this real quick, and I'm gonna go back to some of these trades that I know are earlier. What is up, Top Shelf Action Network? Can I send you a picture on my sleeper roster somewhere, and you can try to give me trade advice? It is the worst roster I've ever taken over. What would be best, especially if we're talking like orphan, some maneuvers need to happen, is if you could send me the Dynasty-Daddy.com power rankings link for your team. And if you don't know how to do that, if you do know how to do that, link to the Discord is in the description. Join that, and there's a live stream ask channel, and you can put it in there. Or if you put it in any channel and tell me, I can find it. Or you can let me know your sleeper username, and I can find it that way. Sadiq Bey mistake. How is Sadiq Bey in
Honestly,
the minds of so many
I'm not
non-Pistons Hawks fans? That is hilarious.
That's a top three comment I've probably ever gotten on here is, hey, I'm not the only one that keeps saying Sadiq Bey.
Sadiq Bey. That'll be fun. Draft season. All right, JD McGee. I like this trade. Send 226 seconds, they're mid, and Kenneth Walker for Luther Burden and a 27 early first. I'm strong with wide receivers, have another second and third. 27 first will be my third one, and then adds a little 27 over 26 draft class. I mean, that trade, it's a beauty, right? 2 seconds and Kenneth Walker for, you get the Burden bet and an early 27 first. Like, I don't even feel like I'm making a Burden bet at that point. Kenneth Walker in 2 seconds or an early 27 first. Straight up. No Luther Burden. Is that pretty close for you?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, Luther Burden, we're seeing him start to take over that role that Ben Johnson wants him to have. And that is something that excites me. And he's produced very solidly. And that offense is something that's just going to continue to get better. This is the first years of this Bears project. And what looks shaky in the beginning, it still looks somewhat shaky sometimes.
Yeah.
They put together big games, and they also like to push the ball down the field throwing it, which a lot of teams we're not seeing throw the ball as much. So to me, give me Luther Burden here. And the fact that I get a potential early 27 first, people are already hyped about them now. When we're doing this show, January 2027, people are going to be buzzing. The top 8 picks are going to be untradeable because everyone is just so excited for that 2027 draft class. So the fact that you can get another one to stockpile, I would do that in a heartbeat. That's an amazing deal. Even you said one QB, 10-team dynasty. The only positions that matter in those leagues are running back and wide receiver, most likely.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't care because you're going from running back to wide receiver. You're not losing a huge positional value.
And look at these running backs. Saquon, Chase Brown, James Cook.
Yeah. And you have a lot of players.
Chuba, James Conner, Chris Rodriguez. Yeah. That's his great running back room. Even if you had a bad running back room, Kenneth Walker has been, I love him. But to use difference maker and Kenneth Walker in the same sentence, I think would be a little disingenuous at this point.
Well, right. I'll shout out the there was some, I don't know if it was a tweet or I know it was a post on Reddit, but there's Zach Chardonnay and Kenneth Walker finished with the exact same points per game in fantasy. It was 10.1 points. So it's if you started both of them, it's you would have gotten the same outcome.
Yeah. I'm in a God bless it. God bless the great people of my standard redraft league that is touchdown roulette for the positions because it's just yardage and touchdowns for receivers and running backs. And Zach Charbonnet, very important part of my auction draft strategy. Just the rolling into the end zone. Ooh, what is up, Fantasy Meatball? And congrats on a good fantasy season. Hello, gents. Are you ready for some playoff football? I am ready. And are you ready for the Thursday night playoff best ball stream? All right, just a quick one there. Be there or be ready for the playoffs. I think I knew I clicked one and went away, but I came back for you, William. Big trade question in a 12-team Superflex League PPR, I was offered Jamar, ETN in 2/3 for JT, Pittman, Ewers, and a 27 first. Ooh. 12-team Super. Yeah, I think I'm doing it. Yeah.
Hold on, where am I looking? Which one is it?
So it is this is William Grove. This is right after the JD McGee trade. I had to come back up 9:32 p.m.
Okay.
Jamar Chase, ETN in 2/3, or JT, Pittman, Ewers, and a 27 first. I mean, the big thing is obviously the 27 first. Does that make up the Chase to JT?
The Jamar. I do think I'm doing it just because Jamar in a full PPR league is going to be a difference maker.
Yeah.
And something that we have seen more of a consolidation of elite wide receivers in fantasy football over the past 2 years, especially.
Yeah.
And Jamar's one of those guys that can put up, dare I say, the Puka numbers or the JSN numbers. Like there's probably 6 of them where you're like, oh, he could just win me a week. And that's going to be way more valuable than the Pittmans or the Ewers or like not Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is very impressive, obviously. But the downgrade from Taylor to ETN is much smaller than the upgrade from Pittman to Jamar. So in my idea, I'm like, I'd much rather just lock in the Jamar Chase share, and then I can always get that 27 first back if I really want by tearing down off of Jamar. And I don't even have to go that far. I could probably get a 27 going down to Drake London or something like that.
Yeah. No, and I like usually I don't know if you're the same way. Usually in these like package for like Jamar Chase or it used to be Justin Jefferson. One day again it'll be Justin Jefferson. But in these like massive trades like Josh Allen or something, it's like Josh Allen or Jamar Chase on the one side and then a bunch of stuff on the other. I think like getting ETN back in this is kind of like a sneaky. I like this it's part sneaky. Of the deal.
Yeah.
Because like obviously JT smash season, but like Travis Etienne very sneakily like outscoring Saquon, Genty, DeAndre Swift, Bucky per game this season. Like very legitimate low end RB1. And there's a very real possibility we get a Jags extension and he, does the hometown deal to stay there for 2 or 3 seasons and is in a similar role. We probably see more Tootin, but yeah, I like that. And it's Chase, can never say no to Chase.
Yeah, I mean Chase is I know some rankings KeepTradeCut can be more reactionary, but I mean Jamar Chase has always been 1 or 2 or 3 in the wide receiver ranking still. Like it's even though he didn't have as amazing of a year as he did the year before, he's still locked into being a true centerpiece dynasty piece.
Yeah.
So to me, if you can get him, you probably should, and he might go off for a bazillion points next year.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, I made it back. So that 27 first is his, and he has another one. Yeah. I mean, I was going to add a little note that I'm more inclined to utilize my firsts in these kind of, I don't want to call them like preferential roster construction, like going from JT to Jamar Chase, because that's not like exactly what happened here. Like obviously you had to use the first, you got ETN back, gave up Pittman.
Yeah.
But I'm more inclined to do those kind of deals when I have additional firsts. You feel like you can burn one, kind of setting up the roster the way you like it. And also Chase, I talk about it a lot, but you could probably get a similar deal back for Chase if you ended up regretting this and wanted an elite running back smash player. I just don't see a world where anyone outside of Bijan and Gibbs, if they're smashing at the time, is out of the question for Jamar Chase. Fantasy Meatball. Ooh, FFPC. Caleb May in an FFPC playoff game can use a player once and 1 player per team.
Ooh, that's an interesting format.
The FFPC stuff is very much, I think, like game environment based. So to me, it's kind of, I'm probably expecting. There's just something I just like can't like
Lock in
divisional
Bryce Young.
game. Yeah. Divisional. You might want to lock in
Gotta
some
lock in
T-Mac,
Bryce
but before you lose them. But no, yeah. What do you? I wonder. I haven't looked too closely at game total stuff. I need to start doing that for week 1 with all the matchups set. I would imagine Chargers Pats is
Okay, so
much better game
let me make
environment.
sure I understand it correctly.
Yeah.
Is it you use a player once and then every week use it again, right? But you can't use that previous player. So if you use like Drake May and then he wins week 1, then week 2 you can't use him the next week, and there's less teams, right? So the goal is to try to use players on teams that are probably going to lose or potentially could lose. I would say, and this might be a hot take, I would probably use Josh Allen in Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks really good. They've been playing amazing. And Josh Allen could just drop 40 points and couldn't be out of the playoffs. And at least you get that week. Whereas Caleb Williams against a bad Packers team, like, or not bad, but, kind of middling team, like he probably will be there next week. And I might want to use him against the Eagles or the Niners or someone else.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, there's no player that can drop a absolutely nuclear week and then also just be out of the playoffs like Josh Allen.
Dang. Dynasty Jake. Talking about, man, we got the Panthers fans talking about the teams that are going to be one and done. No, I'm just kidding.
You know who's a real fraud in the playoffs? It's the New England Patriots.
Dang. And the Rams. There you go. There it is. Let's go.
I was waiting for Dynasty Jake to just start firing off in the chat.
I didn't want to start talking about the totals for these games because the highest total is the Rams, 28.5. But Bills, like you had mentioned, another away team, 27-point total. And then Pats, 25. And Bears, 22.5. Panthers. Yeah, I don't know if this is banked or backed into. I'm gonna go they backed into the playoffs. I don't know. The loss into
it. Bank of America. I will say, Jake, you said you went to the game in Tampa. Were you out there in the pouring rain the entire time watching that disaster of a game?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I need to know if Jeremy's going to the game. Are you going?
I have not decided yet. I haven't looked at tickets and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, I'm at least going to be at worst at like a bar camping out like hours before, or I'll end up going to the game because why not?
Let's go. Also, let's go. Whoa! If you hit the like button on the stream, it does a little football. Let's go. Try it out.
Nice.
Test it out.
Subtle plug, Becca.
Heck yeah. Yeah, cumulative point total. Yep. Oh, how could I have missed this? At Jeremy. Great year hosting these shows. Wish I could have watched more. Well, you can. You could go back in time. No, you could watch all the shows and pretend, or you could analyze. Maybe see how we did. No.
Here's what you do. Whenever Will reads a question and prompts it, you pause it and you speak out loud to yourself and give yourself the answer. You're like, oh, here's what I would do. And then you click play, and then it's like a conversation with all of us.
Ooh, I like that. Or you think about what the right thing would have been when we get like the week 3 trade questions that were like instant reactions to what happened 3 weeks in the regular season. Great advice. No, but I feel like sometimes when we're reminiscing on the year or we're getting nice, beautiful, thankful messages, I feel like it's sounding a little swan song, like, oh, this is our outro. Had a good year, guys. We're not done. Okay? We're here for the long haul. Let's go.
Every week still, I know during the season, there's start sit, there's all this stuff, all this fantasy football, this football stuff to stay up to date on. But now we're starting to get starting to get a little too quiet. But we are still here. We're still being loud and talking to a mic, and that's what it's here for.
We are still being loud.
That's what
True.
it's about. Is we're still going to say terrible takes. Honestly, if you do actually go back and listen to older shows, if we have a bad take, just clip it. I just want to hear us be like, say a terrible take, like Aaron Rodgers is going to be a top 5 quarterback or something crazy.
I don't know why. I've had a lot of takes, and I need to find a better one.
I know there's got to be some bad ones.
All right, I want you to guess what my one victory lap is going to be, and I don't want to claim it. Like, I don't want this to be like Will's victory lap for the 2025 season. You want to guess? It is like very you'd be able to guess it if you thought and thought funny
I don't want to
enough.
like just sit here and have dead air as I try to think of all your takes.
All right. They got the beam on me. Playing defense, trying to draw up a scheme for me. That was Darren Waller, man. He mattered. Darren Waller mattered.
That's actually true.
When he played.
If y'all know what he's talking about, he was in the Discord. I forgot what it was. It was like a random Saturday or something. And you're just like, dude, it was after Darren Waller said he's coming back. And he's like, I've been listening to his mixtapes.
Top shelf.
I think I'm in. I think I'm back in on Darren Waller.
I have to this is not worth me finding. You ever get I didn't know they did SoundCloud raps. I don't use SoundCloud, but I did use SoundCloud to listen to Darren Waller's top plays because I couldn't find it anywhere else.
SoundCloud's like old school. That used to be like back in the day, be like all these SoundCloud rappers.
So we made you a mixtape. It's got 4 albums on it, and one of them's top play. Darren Waller. Let's go. A huge Darren Waller fan. His number 1 listener on SoundCloud.
That is funny.
Gonna write some content on the site. Let's go. Okay, I've made the decision. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna say it's rough. I'm trying to. New Year's resolution is I don't want to say confidence. I'm a confident person. Speaking things into existence in a positive way. I'm gonna take a crack at some prospecting stuff, and I'm obviously gonna be biting and using a lot of other people's materials to put stuff together. But I'm excited to look at some of these, especially if we do get a handful of these receivers specifically in that kind of sketchy, spooky, scary skeleton, pick 24 through, 36 range. That is like, this guy matters. Like I need to have an opinion on this person. That'll be fun. We
should do a draft take show or something.
Oh yeah.
Whereas we take all the gross like 20, 25 overall wide receivers or whatever, and be like, okay, out of all these ones, pick between 20 and 40, like which ones are going to be the best? Like rank them all, and then we can
revisit it 20 years later.
I can't believe I said, Matthew Golden was going to be the best wide receiver in the class or something.
I know.
I did not. That was not one of my takes.
I can't even victory lap my Igbuka. Most people had Igbuka over Golden, but yeah, that end of the season was, I think, tough for all Bucks all around. We'll see if we get any changes there. Bad take of the year was thinking BTJ was a wide receiver 1. Yeah, BTJ to me is kind of like one of those, you just kind of put your hands up in the air. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, off of, if you look at all of the rookie season performances, and I'm sure I'll do some of this stuff with, like, I will revisit a lot of this in harsh ways when I look at prospecting stuff, because a lot of it obviously is based off of, receivers drafted in ranges, year 1 performances, year 2 performances, based off of like college production stuff as well. Yeah, BTJ is just kind of, I don't know what you do. I don't know if there's a lesson to be learned there, because I don't want to do the Mac Jones thing. Like, I don't think Mac Jones is bad or anything, but I think it was just a weird year.
That's something. I guess there's 2 things I would like to say about BTJ. I think one of them is, don't feel bad if you got got by BTJ, because I think most people got by BTJ. There wasn't many people being like, Yeah, I'm out on the rookie that dropped 1,200 yards and like 13 touchdowns.
In best ball drafts, underdog best ball drafts, that is only for the season, only for this year, half PPR, Brian Thomas Jr. consistently went at the back end of the first round, start of the second round, for just this year. Nothing to do with Dynasty at all. So, like, the entire universe got by one Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the second thing, too, is I think it's something I haven't done data analysis on, but I think an interesting part of the conversation is coaching staff changes and kind of the consistency of production after coaching staff changes happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that isn't always factored in when you say, oh, like this player's going to smash. And it's like, but there's a completely new scheme being installed here. Doesn't mean the same player's going to be used the same way. So it's kind of like, sometimes you can predict it. Sometimes it's kind of like, I don't really know.
Yeah. And that's tough too, because
to me, that's kind of an interesting, like, how much variability, like, is this a riskier pick because the offensive situation is different this year than last year?
Yeah. And I think like the Parker Washington, I mean, was he the leading Jags receiver on the season?
I mean, Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, like if we knew Jacoby Myers was there, like that's tough. And then you also kind of do the like what you're talking to is not necessarily is offensive coordinator change good, bad for the passing game, because I think it's been great, especially at the tail end of the season for the Jags, like kind of figuring all this stuff out. But yeah, it's that's going to be a fascinating case study regardless. Yeah.
I will say, Meatball, I took down the writing stuff, the writing articles on my site currently. I am working I want to redo that a little bit because it got a little wonky. But I don't know if on the site means like a different site or if you wanted to write on my site. But yeah, certainly that's something I want to kind of reintroduce this offseason, is letting people be able to share their own articles and things on Dynasty Daddy and having it linked to the player pages and kind of integrated in to share opinions on your players and things like that.
Yeah, man, the RIP Travis Ohtani. All right, fake fan incoming. I think I traded away my last Travis Hunter share I had on Charlie. I think, I moved him on Charlie Daddy when I was making the playoff push. And that's tough in best ball too, because zeros, like IR zeros, are just killer. Like there's no IR spots.
I think that might be the take. That's what we need, is we need someone clip that and then go back and watch all the pre-draft highlights of Will being like, dude, I think Hunter's the one.
All right. Here's the only thing I'll say. And
you got to go back and buy. You got to go back and buy some more Hunter. I have more Hunter.
I was right about Darren Waller. You shut your mouth. No, listen. The tough thing about Hunter moving forward, I will say, is Jacoby is just good, and they traded picks for Jacoby, and you trade a pick for a player that's good, like you are going to do everything in your power to re-sign. And why wouldn't Jacoby want to re-sign there? Like why, unless he thinks he can chase and get a bag elsewhere, which I don't know. I don't know why they would let him go. So I think Jacoby re-signs there. BTJ is still going to be there, like it or not. Parker Washington, very meaningful player. Bretton Strange was even hurt for most of the season. The injury stuff is tough.
I will say this.
He went on a high note.
Even if he was amazing, he still has to compete with being a cornerback, right? His expectation is to play on both sides of the field. So for a fantasy football perspective, he's competing with a Jamar Chase, who doesn't play cornerback as well. So it's like the reality of like, are you going to be a Jamar Chase caliber wide receiver and also fulfill your team's expectations to play cornerback? It's not super realistic. So I think, if he becomes Wayndale Robinson, that's probably good. Wayndale's not terrible. He's another 1,000-yard receiving season. Like that's kind of what it is.
Okay, Rayru, I am giving you permission to have this thought. We were right, but we will not be right moving forward. Okay. I'm giving you that. You get that mental get out of jail free card. I'm giving it to you right now. This is me to you. This is not me to like the greater community. If you're watching the stream right now, thank you so much for the support. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is not for you. This is for me and Rayru. We were right. Okay. But we will not be right moving forward. So I give you permission to bail out. Yes. Man, because he was playing corner when he went 8 for 101 and a tut in that Rams game. I don't even care about the score. Don't talk to me about the score.
Oh, that was funny.
I trade Wandale for Michael Wilson. Ooh, yeah, the Michael Wilson draft value in 2026 is going to be fascinating. I think if the quarterback is
higher
any
than, Marv,
I don't know how you don't. How is he not? I think what it'll end up happening is both of them probably end up going later than they should, just because of the fear of I'm taking the wrong Cardinals receiver. I don't think that Michael Wilson is going to jump into like where Marv was going this last startup season or anything like that. That kind of tier of, this is Drake London. This is, whatever the vibes around Ladd McConkey. This is like CeeDee Lamb Jr. production. I think we're gone there, but we'll see. I don't know. Who's playing quarterback for the Cardinals? Like Jacoby Brissett didn't win a game.
Offensive situation that I just talked about.
They just fired Gannon.
Could just get ethered. We don't know what that new offense is going to look like. So I'm a little hesitant to get too excited about Michael Wilson.
And we probably get a coach who is choosing their QB, and yeah, no more Gannon too. That's a big point. So I think once you see the like coaching stuff, like coaching quarterback, that'll be fascinating. I don't know if I have like a strong enough feeling or vibe or take on what either of those things are going to end up looking like. Like I feel like Jacoby was playing really well, but I don't know. Like he, in terms of like advanced metric stuff, was not like great or phenomenal. It was just a lot of passing volume that led to some good like fantasy numbers, but obviously no wins for the Cardinals. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I don't think it'll be Kyler. That's the one thing I would say, but so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the Michael Wilson price is. I don't know where do you think? Where's Michael Wilson right now? It's 100% worth taking a look at. All right, what do you want to do? Players or do you want to do trades? Recent Michael Wilson trades. Overall player rank.
Let's see. I can wide receiver 39.
Okay.
Around Juwan Jennings,
that's
Christian
very reasonable.
Watson, Michael Pittman.
Oh, that's way more reasonable than I thought.
Jacoby Myers.
I'm surprised actually that he's not higher.
I mean, that's where you should be. New offense coming in. We don't know what's going on.
I mean, would you
don't know the quarterback? We don't know the offense. We don't know
Brandon Ayuk or Michael Wilson?
I'd probably take Michael Wilson.
I think Brandon Ayuk is, to me, is just Michael Wilson that isn't coming off an injury and a weird situation with his team.
Well, I think if you look, I don't know what page you're on, but I have. If you look at Michael Wilson and like the players compared around him, I mean, Brandon Ayuk is wide receiver 35, and he's only like 100 arbitrary trade value more. So I mean, they're basically even. Yeah. It's not a big difference in this range. To me, I just feel better. The one concern is that situation is going to look very different. There's a lot of guys in those situations that look different. Yeah, like it's Jacoby Myers. I feel much more confident in because I'm like that. Liam Cohen, that situation is going to be the same, if not better, next year for Jacoby Myers. With Michael Wilson, I don't know what the hell is going to go on with the Cardinals.
Yeah. Some of these. I mean. Yeah, like Terry McLaurin as well. Devontae Adams, not pictured here, but at the tail end of that wide receiver 20 range. I got Wandale on the wire. I mean, Wandale just needs to be rostered.
He has 1,000 yards.
Any league that the scoring format ends in some sort of PPR for the receiver, Wandale Robinson should be rostered.
Wandale Robinson, wide receiver 34.
Hey, I've got some tough ones, Rayru. I've got a Drake London and 3 firsts for Justin Jefferson 2 years ago, which I ended up winning a chip, so I don't think I would have regretted. But all right, we gotta give some kind of Steelers head nod. That's the dude. The freaking. I want to be. I don't want to just be Steelers hater guy, but I think it's not necessarily Steelers hate. It is more like the Ravens to me are just so much more fun of a team to be like watching play another team than Aaron Rodgers check down and then random brilliant throw. But I'm just a hater, Owen. I'm just a hater who's out of the playoffs, who's wearing a Jahmyr Gibbs jersey under a sweatshirt in his basement. So
I I do agree that like Lamar when Lamar's doing good is just so much fun to watch. Like some of my favorite games, like every year I look at the schedule and I would always circle Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Ravens, like all those games. Because I'm like, I just want to watch the teams that have fun quarterbacks play. So it is disappointing that they didn't advance. But that being said, I mean, that was one of the best games of the year. It was back and forth. I'm like, oh, they did it. Oh no, they didn't. Then Boswell misses the extra point. I'm like, of course they're gonna go down and get the field goal. Then Billy Cundiff it. Yeah, I mean that was a phenomenal game. And as someone that has married into a bunch of Steelers fans, I have to ride with it a little bit. I'm like, man, that was a lot of up and downs. But hey, Steelers are the Panthers of the AFC. You're getting the king of crap mountain, and you can enjoy
in a very winnable week round one game.
Yeah.
Like the Steelers could easily win that Houston game.
Who do they play again?
Texans.
Oh, and they're not beating to Houston.
Come
on, that defense, man.
I have watched too much CJ Stroud to not getting the ball to Nico Collins.
You can't be saying the Panthers got insanely lucky. You can't be saying that.
Yeah. I mean, battle for worse division. All right, I'm just kidding. All right. Yinzer family.
Battle for the worst division.
Firing Harbaugh feels like a mistake. Yeah, man. Do you let good coaches go? I do think that the Ravens have to be a pretty attractive spot for a head coach. Like, if Harbaugh was like the Browns head coach or something and had like one bad season. But yeah, I think the Ravens will be able to.
I think that was a reactionary move. I think the owners probably just got sick of him.
I think there probably was some internal stuff too with like Lamar. Like I know that was kind of coming out, and I'm sure there was some weird stuff during his contract stuff a couple of years back before he got his big deal. But yeah, Harbaugh getting the boot. We're in weird times. Happy.
I get Stefanski getting the boot, but that was to me a little. If he had 2 seasons like that, I'd get it. But
hey, Don, off topic, but I like the little football when you hit the like button. Honestly, I want to be real. I thought Becca was lying for the brand. I thought it was a lie for the brand.
I will say I've definitely seen it before of like, oh, like if you if you click the like button, like it turns into like this logo, and I do it and it never happens. So
no, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, yeah, I've been spinning footballs all day. I just don't like enough. That's my bad. I'll like more. Ooh, is this the year everyone is out on running quarterbacks again with Kyler, Lamar, Daniels, Dart to some extent? And even, I mean, Josh Allen obviously still gave you like smash weeks, but I think having, especially in the like fantasy playoffs, not giving you like back-to-back smash difference making, like he had a dud game, which hurts and people feel extra hard, and then like an okay game that he kind of saved at the end in the championship against the Eagles there. Yeah, I'm gonna be in. I'll tell you what. And unfortunately, I was very in at the end of the season on like buying all the Lamar off the teams that were like disappointing, and then not being able to play Lamar. And luckily, having some like Jacoby Brissett, whatever teams I was able to kind of drag along to some championships. But yeah, are you gonna be? I think Lamar is probably like Lamar Daniels are probably. Are you still going to be taking those guys where they've gone in startup drafts, top end of the first, or are you more inclined to go wide receiver or lean towards, Trey McBride or Bowers in like heavy tight end formats? Are you more open to that just with how this year went? Or are you kind of injury, 1 year sample size? I'm going to do what I know Konami quarterbacks do, and that is vastly outperform projections versus their peers.
I think I agree that we do need to adjust a little bit, but I do think I'm still taking top 3. I think is still Josh Allen, Lamar, Drake May. Okay. Then I think after that, then it becomes a little bit more of a discussion. Okay, I'm like Jaden Daniels, but new offensive coordinator, new, defensive coordinator, like that whole situation is starting to feel a little gross. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough or consistent enough being in a good offensive situation to put up good fantasy points.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Hurts has been kind of leaving a lot to be desired from a offense standpoints. That I don't feel great about those guys.
He has not been running as much recently too. I wonder if we'll see that more in the playoffs. And stuff comes out all the time about like playing through injuries for a lot of these guys. But yeah, that's been a little disappointing. I'm going to be in on Daniels. It's probably like the biggest discount one that I've found myself buying across leagues. And it's just, dude, the age. I know like the injury stuff freaks people out, but to me, like the age plus what we saw the rookie season, and like these games were a little disappointing. A lot of them are being played through injury, and also you were still getting like 9-10 rush attempts in these games with this guy coming back from injury for this team. So I'm going to be in on Daniels. He's still going to be like a top 5 starter pick for me pretty easily.
I'm more in on him than others, but I do think it's like a top 3, top 4. And then after that, I'm going to probably be even more aggressive and not getting sucked into, I need the Justin Herbert. I need to me, I'm going to be even more aggressive in those super flexes to be second round and on, like second to like 7th or 8th round. I'm just going to kick the can on all of it. Yeah. Let me get the gross, I see a comment in here that, or maybe it's gone, about believing in Shuck. Like, I'm going to just stockpile all those random quarterbacks. Every year there's like 60, 70 quarterbacks that play. I'd just rather be able to utilize that than take a 1st and 2nd round quarterback or 1st and 5th. And then I'm looking around for bell cow running back production. And once Derrick Henry starts going, I'm like, am I going to pay a 1st round pick for Derrick Henry? I would rather just get him for cheap in the startup draft when no one's thinking this guy that always has done it is going to continue to always do it. So to me, I'd rather take shots at those high end RBs with the 2nd, 3rd round, things like that, and try to hit on the Jonathan Taylor seasons or players like that than get sucked into, let me pick QB 8 when QB 5 through 20 score about the same.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting. I don't think I want to answer this question fully and give like a full breakdown until I'm like really looking at where startups are looking, because I do think that it'll be really interesting to take a look at the ranges that quarterbacks go in. Like that 5th round for startups heading into the season this last year, there were like the Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence quarterbacks you could take there, which made me more inclined to start drafts. I mean, some of them were Brian Thomas Jr., unfortunately, but start drafts with, let me go Chase, McBride, Nico or something, because I know tail end of 4 into round 5, I can take Purdy. And then maybe that even gets opened up more if you're like, hey, if I can build a room that has Shuck, Malik Willis, Mac Jones, all these quarterbacks, and my 19 projection, it's not looking great against, a 24, 25 from Lamar, Josh Allen projection, but I'm starting CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver spot. I'm starting Trey McBride at the tight end spot, like that. That'll be interesting to look at, I think. All right, Amari and Hampton or Henderson and the 107.
I was about to say, who's Omar, but without additional context, but the same position. Give me Henderson in the 107.
Yeah.
It's a big plus to get on top of 2 guys that are within the same tier.
It is, yeah, very very big plus. And I'm sure there's some people that would have. I think Henderson's over Hampton on a lot of ranking sites, especially the like tough tail end of the season. I'd have them pretty neck and neck ranking wise.
Dynasty Daddy, RB7 is Henderson, RB10 is Hampton.
Yeah.
Now there's it's like 350 in value discrepancy, but
right.
The fact that
and you got to think too.
First on either side, I'm taking either.
Right. Yeah, and I think especially like some injury stuff to tail end of the season, like expectations for the Chargers. Like I know a lot of people weren't excited to be playing or buying Hampton heading into the Houston matchup and how the end of the season's gone for that team. But yeah, I'd have them pretty neck and neck. Ooh, we got some quick maths. The quick math means Malik Willis is for sure starting next year, right? Let's say 2 to 4 real startable QBs and maybe 7 openings. Yeah, I think I would be surprised if Malik Willis is not getting a shot. At the very least, some sort of good deal QB competition. But I think he's going to take Justin Fields 2-year, 34, 40, 50 mil type of deal.
I could see him being like in Minnesota with McCarthy, like kind of the Daniel Jones to the Anthony Richardson type situation of we're going to have a QB battle and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Both. I think Willis is someone that is young enough that people would be more inclined to give him a shot versus Brissett, which has had that shot a few times. And I think people know he's good, but he's a backup. He's that good, high quality backup, not we can build a team around him long term.
Yeah. This is a tough question. When Henderson had more touches, he played under a different head coach. Yeah, I mean, we saw some rookie slow rolling. But it's also tough too because I do want to take things in the context of a rookie season for running back. Where I think we are so quick as fantasy and dynasty players to really focus on what is like such a small portion of the year for like a rookie getting put into a system, competing against a running back that has just signed a contract there, who everyone thinks sucks, but is a legit NFL running back. So I want to say yes, but I don't think it's like a death sentence for where he's at right now and his expectations moving forward.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we see with rookies all the time. They get a little bit slow rolled. But I mean, since week 10, when he started having his breakout, he's had 16.8 opportunities a game. That's included multiple high-end weeks that are like, the reason he's RB7. He's over Christian McCaffrey in dynasty rankings right now. He's over Ashton Jinty, right? He's someone that the community is pretty high on. He's only had one dud week with 2 points in week 16 since week 10, but he's had a 28-point week, a 32-point week, a 30-point week, and then the other ones are like 11 points. So to me, he's not cratering your weeks, and he is winning you weeks most likely. So I feel pretty confident about him going forward.
Oh man, Willis going to the Jets. You think NFL teams rather trot out?
Pick. They're not doing that again.
Yeah. It'd have to be like a weird more doesn't declare situation, and and they also have two. Yeah, they also have two. They have 2 picks in the first, but a lot to address on the defense that did not get an interception this season.
Shoutouts
to Aaron Glenn, former Lions DC. Yeah, like especially when you think in the context of what pick you would probably have to use to take like where Ty Simpson's projected to go versus giving Malik Willis, 50, 60 mil.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the Jets too are a situation that literally just tried that with Fields, and there's no way a coach that somehow is still there, right? I thought he was going to get the 1-year boot, and like they are not going to do the exact same thing again and be like, it doesn't work for most people, but it could work for us. Yeah. Like, no, they're not going to do that again. They're going to say, we have the number 2 overall pick. let's go get Dante Moore if he's there. If not, then it gets a little bit more hairy about what they do, because I don't think they would take, Ty Simpson at the 102. Maybe with their later first round pick, they would do something like that. But, shout out to the fantasy meatball. I mean, Chambliss, I believe he's going back to college, from what I've seen. But that game against Georgia was incredible. I mean, I was talking to myself on the couch, like freaking out. I mean, it was like pure backyard football. But I'm curious to see how he's someone that will be an older prospect, and doesn't have the pedigree of a lot of these other guys. But if he continues to build on what he did against Georgia, which is a NFL caliber, has a lot of NFL players on it, defense, I could totally see him being someone I want to invest in whenever he declares, probably in 27, I think.
That's a good one. Who are 2 players you're going to buy that no one is talking about as buys? So I'm thinking more like I'm getting thrown into deals.
Josh Allen.
I got some nasty ones, but I don't want to get too nasty. I'm just thinking about all my tanking teams that I was like, man, what's a guy who I can move like meaningless production for me right now, since I'm a tanking team, and have some sort of chance to matter for me in the future. Like Joe Mixon was one of those like throw-in guys at the end of the season, but still early enough where people needed the point production. I had a lot of Tyreek Hill throw-ins when I was doing my injured player buys. We'll see if he comes back to the NFL.
Tyreek Hill's not a bad one, because you can get decent throw-ins there.
Those are tougher now because they kind of see what you're doing. Like, throw in stuff maybe. Like, those are a little bit easier when it's in season. Like, James Conner was one of those guys where it's like, some people could be like, you know what, James Conner might be out of my fantasy life forever. Like, he just might never come back from the injury playthrough. And, I've got some tanking teams. F it, throw in James Conner. We'll see. We'll see if we ever get the bounce back from the GOAT. Give me one more year. A guy that can take on, 13 carries in a game. 2 targets. Let's go. Are you, Juwan Johnson, tight end 24.
I do like, I will say, I was looking at a different Saints player. I think Tyler Shuck to me is someone that I think the community, some people do buy, but I think still you can get a decent discount. Currently, quarterback 26. He's under Penix, Kyler, AJ McCarthy, Bryce Young. But he's shown enough from a fantasy football perspective that he's had basically 20-point weeks for the past 6 weeks. And that team, they went on a win streak.
Yeah.
They're going to have the same coaching staff. I think that honestly, Tyler Shuck is someone that is an outlier in terms of he's probably going to be a decent starter going into next year at a pretty affordable price. Now, that might change in a couple weeks to months as people start hyping it up more, but I think he's still someone that the market is a little bit lower on.
Yeah.
Given what his rollout actually looks like.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I love the Shuckster. All the Saints players.
I'm trying to think. You asked for 2. I feel like Kyle Monungai is someone else that I'm certainly paying the price for at this point. Like, it's not like a sleeper. Like, he's definitely looks solid, but I'm paying the price for him.
I like
Johnson has his guys.
We talked about him a lot, and I think he's been like a popular enough like cheap wide receiver buy that this might it's a little bit dependent on people's opinions, but I wouldn't mind buying some Alec Pierce before the contract comes through. Just because I think this wide receiver 49 could very easily look like closer to, the Michael Wilson, Christian Watson range if we get a, 3-year massive money deal extension. Just had an offer for Shuck, Mac Jones, Trey Tuck. Oh, any day of the week. I think that 412 was probably going to have to be a second if I'm a Shuck guy. Like, if I have Shuck, I think I'm going to have to be getting a second in those pieces for me to consider.
Well, I feel like, a third? Because I feel like Mac Jones in a third for Shuck isn't a terrible. I guess it is a start. I do think it's probably around the late second.
I mean, and maybe I'm a fish for lock it in Chuck to be the Saints starter next year, like no competition. But yeah. Shout out to Canyon.
I like Rattler. Oh, nice jersey.
Thanks. I think Canyon has a matching Gibbs jersey. Happy New Year's, Canyon. Chuck is a second for sure. Yeah, I don't think you're getting. I mean, I guess you're probably more speaking to your opinions on Mac Jones, but I think the Mac Jones stuff
I mean, like Mac
is a little
Jones
watery with
is higher as well.
Yeah, it's tough with him having one more year on the Niners deal. Like, yes, a team could come with a trade package that's spicy enough to get them to move him, but they loved having Mac Jones this year when Purdy was hurt, dealing with the turf toe stuff. So like teams just don't want to move good players that they have under contract just for no reason. Who indeed. do poop in a shiny. Hey, Mac Jones and Trey Tucker, they matter. Okay. I do love the 412 is the classic, like, this is a plus. Like, trust me, bro. This is a plus.
Last pick in the draft.
You don't have to go to waivers. You don't have to put in a claim. Shout out to Jeremy, Dynasty Daddy site. Most underrated Dynasty FF site on. God, he put that on. God. Period.
He did.
We did have shout out to Tricky Trev and my brother. We were Christmas partying and the boys were checking out their Fantasy Wrapped. They were on their phones going through asking me what the songs meant. Let's go.
I will be making a post probably next week. Just like, here's all the songs, here's all the criteria for all the different songs.
Love it.
Because I feel like it's fun to have something that's a little bit more abstract, but also know why you got a certain song. I think, we have a patiently waiting top shelf action network in the Discord. He joined and posted his roster. I have not looked at it yet, but I did see a notification of Diaz in the Discord, and he said,
Lord Jesus, honestly, I need some help with this roster.
All I saw was, dude, you should honestly orphan this team unless you don't have to pay till like 2030.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm curious to see how bad the damage is here.
I see Drake May. Something can be done. You got Drake May.
We do have Drake May. I mean, you have.
All right, let me see if I can turn this into a picture of this team. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
I will also say, Canyon, go Panthers! Let's shock the world again. We already beat the Rams.
True. You got the blueprint. You wrote it yourself.
That's true. Tristan said, "I wish I had Javonte Williams to buy this offseason." I will say I definitely do. I wish I went harder on Javonte Williams. I don't know what that was, like a blind spot for me. I kept being like, let me get the Miles Sanders later and be the big brain move. And it's like, no, Javonte was definitely the one that I wanted to go after this year.
Yeah, there were a lot of teams where I was collecting a handful of Cowboys running backs. So some of my Javantes also come with some film offas and Jaden Blues. I reached on a little bit.
I got a lot of Jaden Blues.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like like I did, and it was actually and I mean, I don't want to brag about this league or talk about it because the Dynasty is my first year taking over the Dynasty Demon Time orphan. Okay, so there's a little bit of thank you for your service. I think I deserve. But that was my RB spot was so bad. And it was like literally I was Kyron and then Dallas Cowboys running back was my plan. And that ended up obviously not working out. My team sucks, but I think those like cheap free is probably the biggest thing to me where it's like there is just obvious upside. Like when the upside is obvious and the very worst case scenario is you burned Jaden Blue was an early third maybe at like the peak hype point of the offseason. Like maybe
it's like early third.
Maybe some crazy people were taking him at the end of the second, but like early third round pick, Javonte basically free. I mean, maybe 2/3, let's say.
It was like a third or
and people sending out first. I mean, I sent out basically a first for Javonte. I turned it into different running backs, but yeah, I mean, any player that
Javonte was the second at max,
and especially too that had a background of like being a decent workhorse running back. Like obviously post injury stuff is one thing, but like free and there was some sort of background of production, I think is something that I don't want to ignore.
I will say human factor. Let me know which song you got in your fantasy wrapped. Let's see. Will Javonte be the Dowdle of this year? I could see it. It's a 1-year contract. I don't know if they're going to bring him back or not. That's kind of the question mark. I imagine I don't know. I honestly don't know. What they could just take Dowdle again. They do have Malik Davis. That's true. Like Dowdle had a couple spike weeks and then kind of went downhill for a little bit as well. I mean, I think Javonte will probably be kind of like Dobbins. He'll find another spot on a team that needs a running back and probably slot in, and he'll be someone that you want to roster. Will he be worth a first? Probably not. He'll probably be worth a second or a third until we know what his actual roster what the roster situation looks like. And Dowdle didn't really become a viable locked-in starter until Chuba was out. Right now that Chuba's back, it's kind of you're playing the Kenneth Walker game of, is it Kenneth Walker? Is it Charbonnet? Which one is it this week? So it's one of those types of games. Let's see. Canyon said, I mean, we already saw some flashes from Davis. Obviously, that's a ways away, but they had quite a bit of guys there. And with Williams' history, I can see him taking a big dip this year. I mean, I do agree. I think if I can get decent prices for Javonte Williams right now, I would probably try to do that, just because you're going to maybe get an early second, late first price tag on a player that might not really have that same role next year.
Yeah.
Now, do I think Malik Davis is someone I trust? Probably not. He's already been at the Cowboys before. It's not someone that's, the Cowboys felt super inclined to bring back. I think he was on the practice squad for a while. He's a guy, but if they do let Javonte go, they'll probably bring in a Dobbins or someone else that's available. Maybe a ETN.
All right, I'm going through every one.
How's it going over there, Will?
I'm on League 4. I asked him in Discord.
League 4, dang.
But we're getting there. You're doing a great job. I'm just a listener. First time listener.
First time listener. I will say I think we dropped a sub, so we got to pump that number back up.
Who was it? Tell us. Show yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all about the market, and Javonte Williams is someone that does have that early second price tag right now, and even if he does get the exact same rollout he got this year, his price doesn't get much higher. So if you do get an early second, late first any year, give me all 2028 random first, ship them off, in my opinion, because that's not a role I want to bet on, right? I would rather bet on a Derrick Henry or a Christian McCaffrey or someone like that. Like, I'd be more inclined to keep that because I know that role's locked in. Whereas Javonte could be the backup for Ashton Genty next year. And it's like, okay, well, how juicy is that role? Not super exciting. Let's see. In a non-tight end premium 16-team super flex, what would you offer for Juwan Johnson? I have Andrews. Okay, non-tight end premium 16-team. Everything's a little bit more valuable, but I still feel like you're probably able to get him for pretty cheap. He's pretty undervalued.
Juwan Johnson?
Like he sits at right now, like an early third is kind of the range that he sits at right now, at most. Early to mid third is the range I would look at. And I'll look at a few trades. Michael Meyer for Juwan. That happened. Terrence Ferguson in a fourth for Juwan. I think that's a fine deal. Bashal Tootin for Juwan and Colby Parkinson. That's also in a 0.5 tight end premium best ball league, which makes it even more interesting.
Yeah.
But I think all of those, like, basically find a player that they might be interested in. Can you toss a fourth in? Is there a different story? Is it a random rookie? Like, that's kind of how I would look at it. If they need a tight end, you could maybe do like an Andrews in a fourth or something like that if you don't want to deal with the Andrews situation. Because for the first time in a long time, we really don't know what that Ravens offense is going to look like. Brand new coaching staff coming in. Andrews might not be the focal point, or he may be even better. So I don't feel like you have to make that deal, in a non-tight end premium league. Well, you're getting called out here.
I would not. There was probably I think there was a time. This is referring to some DMs where I was trying to buy like Kittle, some sort of like Kittle running back package.
Yeah.
And there was probably a time where I was very close to like, fine, I will give you a first for Javonte, but like, please give me something else. That never came to fruition.
It was just giving the like visual meme of like I woke up and I'm just looking at my phone of like, who's calling me out? What do you mean? Yeah, that.
All right, I've got another idea here.
Is it how many leagues he's got?
Well, I don't want to tell you what happened. So let me make up a lie first.
Oh boy.
Right now, all right, I was working off of tough screenshots. This guy's basically, I found the name of someone in his league based off of his pick screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to search all of those guys' leagues real quick. I wish I had more to give to you. But alas. LA. Because I do have
All just says he's having fun with you, if that makes you feel better.
It does. I love people having fun with me. Here we go. We got a panic meter question.
Oh boy.
Painting in the bedroom. Grabbed Igbuka, Burden, Golden in last year's rookie draft. What's the panic meter? Burden emerging as maybe the safest of the three. I'm not ready to give up on Igbuka, but yes,
I'm out on Golden for sure. Like the button has been pressed. I took it out, put it on the desk. I pressed it. Igbuka, I'm not pressing it, but I think it's kind of this weird. He broke out early, and then it kind of became that like sheltered. This is a weird analogy, but it's like that sheltered child. Like kind of like what we thought of, like, oh well, you got Evans, you got Godwin, you got all these other targets. He's not going to go out. He's not going to be able to go play with the big boys yet. He'll be that third string, fourth string. I'm a little concerned with McMillan though, coming back from like a broken neck and just demanding a ton of targets.
He just was just running more routes than Igbuka, just flat out.
Yeah, like that's a little concerning to me. I do feel probably the best about Burden right now.
Igbuka kind of had the inverse rookie season. Like you want the struggling out the gate, smash blow up weeks at the end of the season. You know, the value heading into the next year. He kind of had that.
It's
inverse.
One of those things where it's like what's his name? Beast Knights with the JCM 109 victory lap, and it's like when he started crushing it, got the job. You're like, you could sell them for profit. And I think one of the things I want to probably try to do more with those players that smash early. It's like Ibuka was pushing like wide receiver 8. And it's like, is he going to always be wide receiver 8? Or can I get a little bit of profit on that? There's some amazing deals that people would trade up for Ibuka because they thought, oh, he's going to be top 3, not, oh, he's going to be, 8 through 16. So it's kind of hard to sell when you have you made money off of it, but Ibuka was one of those guys that crushed so hard and now still has the bias of, well, he crushed so hard earlier, so he's got to be good. But I mean, you can't also slot him into your starting lineup.
It's also kind of tough too with like I think the tail end for just Tampa Bay and the Bucs offense in general. Like I think you could tie a lot of feelings about the tail end of the season for Ibuka with how Baker played too, which I mean doesn't do a lot for fantasy production expectations heading into next year, but it's a data point.
Yeah. And I agree with Tristan. Shout outs. Selling Golden, selling Ibuka, because this price is still very high. And I do think buying Burden. He posed that earlier question, 2 players you'd buy. I'd probably buy Burden at price right now. Just because I'm like, DJ Moore is going to eventually go away. Rome will come back. It'll be kind of Rome and Burden, and I just feel like Burden's kind of the guy to own at this point. Like his role is just going to continue to develop and grow.
Yeah.
Big Loveland might be my biggest buy this offseason, according to Tristan. That's interesting. That's interesting.
The Loveland or Warren?
I would probably take Loveland. I just think Warren has more design touches in that offense that I don't like in a way, because I feel like whenever I see an offense that has those design touches, I'm like, it's cute until like the Mike Tyson quote of you get punched in the face and you're like, well, I'm not going to design a touch for you. Like I'm going to just try to dial up my best plays.
Yeah.
And I think Loveland is someone that will be more involved in like meaningful plays.
Yeah, I like both of them. I'm a little bit more.
I like both of them too.
They're probably neck and neck for me. I agree with you on the Warren stuff. I do think another part of it is a lot of like play action stuff, like a little bit more. He's a little bit more in that mold, which obviously when you do not have a running game, gets neutered pretty hard.
Yeah, and I will say, Tristan, I had a conversation with him, clowning him because he was a Loveland stan. They're 50-50. I mean, it's literally like, give me a plus on any of them, I'm taking the other one. Like Warren in a third, sure. Loveland in a third, sure. Like it's so close. If I had to pick one, I'd probably lean Loveland right now. But
okay, the team has been located.
Okay, this is like Indiana Jones over there trying to locate the team. And I do say, Meatball mentioned Burden, Adunze, Loveland, Bears future for the next decade. You also have to add in Ben Johnson as the head coach, offensive guru, the mastermind of the Detroit Lions 15-win season is there. He's locked in. He's not leaving. And that's something that you got to value, is a coach, an offensive play caller that isn't going anywhere, because that means you're not going to have situations where, oh, we fired our coach and now Brian Thomas Jr. gets ethered for some reason. You know those guys are going to be consistent once that offense, has time to mature.
Yeah. Was I going to say
Sorry,
regardless of what you said?
I had to throw in a little jab.
It did. I will say sometimes when I'm locked in on getting the stuff set up, I turn the brain off and I keep just a little portion on if you yell at me or something. And it also can hear Detroit Lions slander, so I started to tune it back in there.
Yeah, I was like, I think you're zoning out, so I'm gonna just see if I can slip in some of your deepest fears that maybe Ben Johnson was the guru behind the Lions not being a
yes, the 0-2 against the Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson is
the 0-2. Yeah,
that's what we were missing. Maybe we would have went
hey,
1-1
I'm glad beating the
against
Bears
the Bears if we had
y'all's Super Bowl.
Dang it. All right. All right. Don't talk to me about the Super Bowl. I know you guys are in the playoffs. How we feel about Johnny
The
Morton getting the
Panthers.
boot? This happened week 13. Let's be honest. I don't even remember what week it was that Dan Campbell took over play calling stuff. It was earlier than that. But
Yeah, it was earlier.
yeah. I feel great except for the David Blau interview, but hey, love what he's done for the team and the practice squad. So let's go, David Blau. Okay, I got the team here. This is an orphan. This year was paid over, or this year was paid for, but it's a tough one. Drake May.
Yeah, could you shoot me the link?
Oh yeah, I put it in.
I was in the Discord.
It's in Discord in the one of the strategy
perfect.
chats. Yeah, rebuilding strategy most
There
likely. Yeah, so they're gonna charge him after this season. I haven't read through all the messages, but it does look like there were some like pretty rough. Which, granted, you're gonna have on a lot of orphans some wild trades, some 2 firsts for worthy type beats, because this is a team that does not have their own 26 first. Or 27 first or second.
No.
It actually doesn't even have its own 26 pick, but it looks like based off of the picks that the Ruben pick is actually the 1 overall. So you have the 201 at least. So at least those aren't like 2 terrible seconds. But yeah, this is a sight. This is 100% a Drake. You just have to move off of Drake May on this team. But I think it's more interesting, what would you move off of Drake May for on this team?
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing, and from like being a good person, and this is being a good league mate, you know this orphan's rough.
Yeah.
And they don't have 2 first-round picks. I don't think you really should have to pay until 2028 at the earliest.
Yeah.
Like, to be realistic, like the pay.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, by the way, your team stinks. Jordan Mason's your RB2, and you have 2 second-round picks to fix it before we're starting to charge you is a little bit. I'm like, okay, like my first-round pick last year turned into Matthew Golden. My best receiver is Xavier Worthy. Like, it definitely hurts. That's a little bit hard to swallow. But I mean, I do think the hard pill to swallow is you do have Drake May. So you got to figure that out, and you got to sell Drake May, and it's got to be. And honestly, I'm probably trying to guilt string people, or just be like, hey man, like I put him on the block and be like, I'm new here. Everyone knows this team is awful. Like, I'm selling Drake May. Someone help me be able to actually turn this team around. Otherwise, I'm just gonna orphan it again because this thing sucks. Like, like I'd be like, I need a serious package for Drake May so I can at least start to mold a team that is competitive, because I don't have my first round picks for 2 years.
Yeah, it's like the Feiler doing team reviews. Yeah, so these Dynasty trade shows, we do end up, there's a live stream ass channel in the Discord, link in the description. Jeremy also does team reviews that you can book through the Dynasty Daddy site. Highly recommend those, but those are definitely more thorough than what we can give when we're answering questions and talking through stuff on these live streams. But 100% we do take a look, especially for broken homes. It's not an orphan, but it's a broken home.
This one message where we go on like the spiel about like this is the worst thing ever, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm in the best spot."
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, not good. Okay.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna lock in.
That was interesting. Big Diaz said previous manager traded 2 first-round picks for Worthy. So that's probably where it went. I thought this one was funny as well. This is like suffering for your art. This is definitely who's that one? I'm blanking, but who's that one artist that like? I mean, it's like a lot, but that one that like died and then got super famous. That's like this, you're gonna orphan your team. You're gonna be like, I've been paying dues for 5 years, and eventually your plan will come through. But let's try to figure out what type of deals. Yeah, Van Gogh. Thank you, Big Diaz.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, Van Gogh pool.
I don't know what I was hoping to find down here on the waiver wire, but I'll go back. So obviously the Drake May. So is this a team? Do you just have to turn? I want to be getting my first back. Like, do you have to use Drake May to get your first back on this team? Even if it's in 2027.
To get yours? Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to trade?
Yeah.
Austin Hooper? I don't think there's anything on this. Like, if someone showed up with Jordan Addison, could I get my early 27 first back? Like, no, thank you. I'm going to keep Jeremiah Smith.
Wait, is this retired owner 4? Jeez, how many? Oh, no, it's these teams.
There's 2 other orphans. So I guess you can't really talk with him right now.
So wait,
they also don't have their first rounds. Okay, I'm starting to notice a trend here.
How many teams are really in this league at the end of the day? and that's a loaded question.
It's going to be like that sleeper conspiracy. Did you see that where that guy had was in 10,000 leagues and he had multiple accounts and would join the same leagues and then trade with himself?
Oh,
he was like a third of the league.
Well, here's your 27 first. Ruben Rude.
I do think this is honestly a good call before we go into panic mode. 2 orphans not filled, and this team, a dispersal draft would actually be phenomenal because you just have a bunch of teams. That would actually be amazing. And I would just be honest, most of these teams don't even have their first round picks. Like a dispersal draft, you could at least somewhat construct and plan and feel a little bit better. So that's something
I would offer to. I don't know how you feel about this. I haven't done a ton of dispersal drafts, but very familiar with the concept. I do think, would you, and maybe you can kind of use it as a way to pay for some of these orphans, that a team can join the dispersal that is a current active team, but the price of paying for what would be 1 year for one of the orphans. You get what I'm saying? Like an additional due to blow up your team versus, and then this guy gets to do the dispersal.
Is like, hey, I don't have a first round pick till 2028, and you want me to pay in 2027?
Because I want Stealth Dahmer. I want him in the dispersal for free. Okay, no questions asked.
Yeah, I mean that team is rough.
But
honestly, can you just take a different team? Can you be like, can I take orphan team? These other teams are open.
Goff, Stafford, CMC, Gainwell, Amon-Ra, Ladd, Garrett
Lamar
Wilson,
Jackson, Bijan Robinson. Yeah,
I mean, has their own 27 pick. Yeah.
You say I'll figure it out. I'll go join a different.
The 11-3 team orphaned. Well, they don't have their 26 first or second, but jeez. All right.
I mean, Orphan Team 4 looks.
Oh, okay. This might just be old that I pulled through.
CMC.
It might just be.
Even Orphan Team 2 is solid.
Yeah. Okay. So it's sounding like not actually orphaned. So I think the dispersal. We could definitely talk through some dispersal stuff. We do have one. It's not going to be an orphan. We had somebody taking over Bravo Daddy team, but yeah. Oh, jeez.
Some of these chats are so funny, man. Is this allowed to show on YouTube?
This team though is kind of
for you, Stealth Bomber.
is kind of a good setup. I mean, obviously has 4 firsts this year, so this is a team that's maybe not as gung ho about using a bunch of assets to get Drake May, but JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Anthony Richardson, QB2 situation, that's the kind of team that would probably be willing to use some of these picks alongside your 27 first that they have to get your Drake May. I think that's where you start.
The 1-13 team?
Yep. So you do
I
have
think
their
the
201.
4 and 10 team is also a team I would look at as well. They don't have your picks, but they do have 2 first-round picks this year,
Yeah.
1 next year. They're also a team that has Kyler Murray, Mariota, and McKee. But the rest of the
Xander
team looks pretty
McKee,
solid.
he should start somewhere. He's balling.
Yeah, so I'm like that's a team that has liquid assets that you could trade for and actually help them out as well.
Yeah. And that's like it's just the unfortunate truth that you just, I mean, there's teams where people don't want to split Drake May when they have like decent rosters, but they're not going to be able to compete with the team around it. I mean, this team is not showing up to any party, unfortunately, for 2 years. Like, what is 2 seconds, 2 fourths, a third, and a fourth over the next 2 years doing for this team?
I mean,
realistically,
you have to hit like the 1% outcome of just like walking away with the Munungai of
Bucky,
the year,
Amonra,
and the Gadsden, and the Buckies. You have to hit on like,
and you don't have that many shots either. Like these are,
you don't have many shots. You're like
shooting fish in literally ocean.
You're Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. You got a gun with 1 bullet, and it's like it's for one guy, and that one guy has to save your entire season.
So as far as game plan, is it only picks, and your plan would be that's the one thing that's tough about this team is I do like what this other team has, and you could turn it into other picks 100%, but you are just so set up to tank next year also, especially moving off of Drake May, that I really do want to prioritize getting my own 27 first as a part of it. So I would start there.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I would definitely start there.
And
you gotta see how active it is.
Teams that have a handful of picks, like you got 4 firsts, you got three in 2027. Like I've had teams like that where I'm like, hell yeah, let's bring me Drake May, bring out your finest young quarterback for me to purchase with my first round.
Like these teams, both these teams, especially I think the 4 and 10 team, Mowzilla.
Yeah, jeez.
This team that is like a quarterback or so away from being a serious contender. They have London, Neighbors, Burden, Watson, Brees Hall, Scattaboo, Sharps.
And they're looking for QB 100%. So
yeah, and their quarterbacks are so bad. And they're probably sitting there being like Mendoza or Drake May. And you can just get the premium of give me all this stuff. I can bet against them in 27 as well. At least get some things back if that 27 first round pick is a pain to get, because it could be, because this team is sitting here saying my team isn't terrible, even though it's 113, but I have some pieces that are exciting, and I have probably the top 2 picks in 2027. So I'm going to have Arch and Jeremiah Smith or whatever and just be crushing, and they might just sit on their hands and be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing no matter what.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to give me like Drake May for a first, plus like a second or some cheap deal, but you really need to get a haul.
Yeah. And this is, I'm with Diaz on this. Sending me a leverage deal with my own 27 first back. And I do think this is tough because I don't want to do the hindsight thing for you, because you've been through so much already with this team, having to look at this season. But I think being realistic about what is David Montgomery and Jordan Mason for this team, especially considering the next 2 seasons, which is like when they would probably provide any value, would not feel bad about losing the trade on these guys for whatever you can get realistically, even if the value's not high, But I do think that's a good starting point though, to see getting your 27 first back. And definitely I wouldn't sell May too short. Like I would definitely be putting him on the block alongside this conversation, just so that there's some awareness that you're willing to shop Drake May.
Yeah, and the last thing I would really say about that is Drake May is your 1 your one shot. He's your golden goose.
Yeah.
So you do need to get that elite deal no matter what. It needs to be a good package with your 27 first back or a crazy package from someone else. Don't just be like, this is the best deal I can get now. I'm going to sit on it, but it's not a great deal.
Yeah.
If it is, then okay, my team's I'm still going to suck. I'm just going to have Drake May on it. Eventually someone will want Drake May. So you got to be extra stingy with the asset that people want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the short answer and the quiet whisper answer is like as much as you can get on top of your 27 first back. Like Drake May is 100% in. Yeah.
2+.
He's in the 3 firsts category. Like he is alongside where what you would pay for Josh Allen for some people. So I would not move Drake May for, a 27 first and another. Like I would definitely be trying to get 2. If you could get like some sort of like wide receiver or like, I mean, I don't want to try to get up on Bowers with this team. I think this team doesn't need that kind of asset. It needs to just be paying for future firsts and flexibility, getting your own first back because you are going to be tanking.
Okay, here's wild theory, right? Do we say, cool, I know what I kind of need to do, but I don't do it now? Like, do I wait until insert quarterback name gets injured, right? Justin Herbert gets injured next year and is out, and I can get Justin Herbert plus a bunch, or I can get Malik Neighbors, like, or whoever's the Malik Neighbors this year or next year, plus 2 first-round picks for Drake May. Like, is that when we try to pull the shot? Because during the offseason, no one is injured. No one is valued like they're injured. Everyone's like, oh, they are going to play. But during the season, if I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I got Lamar Jackson, but this guy's shopping me Drake May, and Lamar Jackson's been banged up, and I don't get any of his production, I can send Lamar and a first and get Dynasty quarterback 1. Are you doing that? I feel like you're going to be much more likely to get those types of deals during the season. So that's one thing I'm like, we're now at the part where you don't have to make these moves all year. And it's not like, week 4, Drake May's not going to go to 0. So to me, it's going to be, I'm going to probably say, can I leverage some of the market volatility that comes during the season as well to try to get that extra value? Because in the offseason, you might be able to get Devonta Smith and 2 first-round picks or something. And you might be like, well, that's the best I can get. But during the season, Josh Allen gets hurt. The guy's expecting Josh Allen to give elite production. You could probably get Josh Allen and a first for Drake May. And then when Josh Allen comes back, you have a healthy Josh Allen that you can flip for more. And I think that's something that you also might want to consider, just because you don't have any assets at all, that you can't take a 10% haircut here or there. Like, you need to get the extra 15% on every deal you make to even just break even. So that's something too to consider. This deal is not a deal that you need to make now. Yeah. It's not like you're going to fix your team by getting your 26 first back or anything like that. You just need to get the massive haul whenever you can get it. And that means 3 first plus a value. Like, you need to get the, sticker full price of, you just bought a Drake May from the brand new car dealership. We're not going to a used car dealership. You're getting the brand new Mercedes Drake May that's costing you all your money. That's what you have to get. You have to be able to sell them for that.
My only pushback would just be that if I'm Stealth Dahmer, my 2027 first is the 101. And I have many a time have felt the pains of trying to get my first back that I was a little bit sketched out on the team for, on that like paying credit a couple years in advance situations. So I kind of want to start the conversation as early as possible, just so that week 6, 0-6, lowest max points for, I'm not having those Drake May negotiations. Like, yeah, bro, but like it's the 101. Like, I'm not going to give you that at this point.
Well, I will say I do agree with that team, because that team's probably going to be bad as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing to factor in is, I think your pick's already kind of valued like that. Like, I think everyone knows you're not going to get your way out. So to me, I'm not I'm not thinking I'm getting a huge discount when week 6 I'm 0-6, and they're like, well, yeah, like your team sucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I would also say I don't want to overvalue my own first, because what if I can get my own first back, the 101, or get the 103 and the 105 and a 28 seconds? It's like, okay, wait a minute. That might be a better deal because no one else on my team is viable.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. And what we saw is like so many people were like, I need Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the best prospect we ever seen. He's a bulletproof prospect. He's so good, so sexy, all these things. Oh, wait a minute. If I got the 103, I get Malik Neighbors. I get Jaden Daniels. I get Caleb Williams. It turns out the only egg was the guy that everyone's hyping up beyond belief. So to me, in a team like this, I just need as many high-end shots as possible. I'm not even addicted to the 101. I'd rather just have the 102, the 105, the 107. Like, give me as many shots in the first round because I just need to have a ton of shots. I can't have a chance of this is my big first round pick and I end up with a Matthew Golden or a Marvin Harrison Jr. because that's going to set me back even more from building a competitive roster.
Yeah. And I did see one. No, I'm pulling up. I saw another live stream ask come through, so I was going to pull that up because your boy's to P. But trying to trade with Ruben for my 27 first and his 27 first and some of his young backup running backs. Yeah, I don't mind that start to that. I mean, I would love, ideally, I'm turning Drake May into my own 27 first and 2 additional firsts would be like my, okay, I feel good about cashing out based off of this team.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a little sketched about
first round picks.
My own first, another 27 first, and then like, I mean, I guess I'll quick pull this back up. I mean, if you're talking like Ollie Gordon, that range of like young running backs, I don't even care on this team.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to say no.
3 first of value.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of once you start in your mind convincing yourself, like Ollie Gordon plus Trey Harris, I'm getting close to a first. It's like on this team, dude, like Ollie Gordon and Trey Harris, they're not saving you. Like a first round pick is what is going to help save you in terms of like turning that back into an actual roster.
And I will say too, I do think it will be the 101, but I mean, there's a lot of other bad teams. Football happens, injuries happen. I just don't want to there's times where you're like, I don't have my first round pick. What the hell do I do? How do I navigate this? And you can just get absolutely fleeced if you hyperfixate on, I have to get my pick back. Definitely try to get your pick back. But if they're sitting there being like, I know you're going to be awful, then it's like, okay, well, let me go to a team that is going to at least try or has some different opportunities and is willing to pay me a better sticker price, even if I do lose, the coveted Jeremiah Smith pick, which, with Jeremiah Smith is going to be the exact same situation. If all you do is get Jeremiah Smith back, it's going to be, you're going to have Jeremiah Smith and a bunch of bums instead of Drake May and a bunch of bums. And I will say, Benny, I know you asked if we're doing reviews. We do these breakdowns. It is pushing up on the end of our stream, but if you do want to post in the live streams ask channel in our Discord, we can help you out in the Discord, or we can even just run it live next, or unless you already got it.
This might, if it's been posted already in the Discord, the Pikachu, it's Pikachu one. I've got that here.
Well,
ready.
Then you're already ahead of us.
It's game time. All right. I've got
one thing I do wanted to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, just to address the Big Diaz question. Other things outside of Drake May is to definitely dominate the backup quarterback market, especially. And any prospect that can get hype, like the Gadstons. Like, if you're grinding the Dynasty Daddy community or other communities, you're going to find people that are saying, I really like Gadsden. I really like all these players. Just constantly be churning, right? You need to find any value, and anytime anyone's, Worthy has 2 good weeks and someone might want to buy him for 2 seconds. Okay, see ya, right? Like, you constantly got to be churning. No one on your roster now is going to be relevant when your team is relevant. So you need to get that value. So Worthy has a couple good weeks. Okay, cool. I'll trade him away for a decent price. Like, constantly churning that and then holding the entire league hostage. You should roster like 20 backup quarterbacks. Make everyone come to you for those backup quarterbacks and try to kind of hold people hostage.
All right. It is Puka Chew. Heading into 2026, knowing I have to build a ton through the draft, 3 firsts here. Was curious if I could also be flipping picks for young potentials like Jake Ferguson plus a second for Fannin or Loveland for tight end at least. Yeah. I mean, I would love to do both of those. Ferguson in a second for Fannin or Loveland, I'm very down for. In terms of like difference making upside. But 3 firsts here, 2 seconds, and 3 firsts in 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a tight end premium?
I think you can do these kind of luxury. I assumed so, but 0.5.
Bonus, yeah, 0.5. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this is more of a luxury upgrade, like, because I don't think Jake Ferguson's terrible. Now, I know he hasn't been amazing since CD got back. So I get wanting to do that. I also think, hey, you have 3 first-round picks this year, and our guy, Kenyon Sadiq Bey, is in the draft. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you could totally end up saying, hey, one of these later first-round picks, early seconds, turns into that type of prospect as well.
I do think we're finding a way to use these picks. If it's not the selections themselves, because I think the Cam Ward experience and a lot of even rookie quarterbacks we like now, like, Caleb Williams of the world, as far as like rookie quarterback performances, banking on, QB2 heading into next season being one of those guys versus like using them to get a Matt Stafford or something heading into next year. But I do think we're probably finding a way to build out the wide receiver room is pretty obvious. We're looking at DK, Pat Bryant, Keon Coleman, Malik Washington, when you're having to start 4 of these guys.
And one thing I will say is I think you kind of touched on a good point of there's a lot of extra stuff to do here, but there's also the value of a Harold Fannin and a Loveland. While they are nice in this type of format, I'm not as inclined to pay that price just because it's not like I'm getting a Bowers McBride level difference maker. I'm probably getting maybe an extra point per game or so over me just kind of rolling with a Ferguson or guys that are going to pop off on the waivers. Like if I want to bolster my room, I might look at maybe buying a Hunter Henry or someone cheaper, Goddard or someone like that versus paying the sticker price of Dynasty upgrades to a Fannin Loveland that might score in the same range.
For sure.
Like, and if I'm going to pay any sticker price, it's going to be the McBride. Like, let me go up and get like a true guy.
You're flexing Hunter Henry on this team right now if he was on your roster.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather use all those first-round picks and stuff on wide receivers, running backs. Let me focus on the positions that really matter, and I can probably figure out tight end a different way.
I was going to say, it looks like these are some late firsts, trying to find like where these teams are at, the Quicksilver and Toxic Space Monkeys. And found Toxic Space Monkeys first, the fantasy football team down here, but was 8-6, so it's a playoff team we're looking at. And then 10-4 as well. So you probably got 2 late firsts alongside what's probably earlier 5-9 team. I'm trying to kind of assign like expectations for draft with what you would do with this team. With, you're able to hit, if you hit 1 early wide receiver, if you do get those 3, you have Genty, Harvey, QB2 you have to solve. But you can do that for cheap, which is kind of the nice thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something I like. I like how this team is built out. I like the amount of picks you have. You're going to fall into a perfect range to attack the strength of this class, which is wide receiver. Right? Everyone says this class stinks. Well, you need a lot of wide receivers, and this is perfect for you. So to me, I'm walking away with 1-2 first-round wide receivers. I only need one to be decent, and I'll feel pretty confident about that. And QB2, I can draft one with one of the picks I have, or stream quarterbacks. I think one of the biggest advantages and something I want to lean into is, we always talk about how overrated a QB3 is. I think in a lot of leagues, that QB2 is also very overrated.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather be able to take advantage of starting the Davis Mills, of starting, the Shucks and those types of players than saying, well, I have to start my Goff. I have to start this player that's way more value, the Bakers and things like that. Those players just hold up a lot of value, but aren't producing any more than Malik Willis when Malik Willis is playing.
Yeah, and even with all the firsts you have, like I wouldn't really want to unless it was at a really good value with like where Mendoza or Moore went. I wouldn't be excited about using one of my 26 firsts on that when I could use it to bolster my wide receiver room outside of the draft picks themselves, like for those late firsts, like turning those into guys you feel better about starting for, even if it's just for a 3-4 season stretch when you have, Drake May, whatever you do with QB2, if it's like Stafford type, Genty Harvey, you're probably getting an RB3, Puka, couple wide receivers, and then you've got Ferguson, and you've got 3 firsts in 2027. Oof. Okay, well let me take a peek at this one that was just submitted, and then this can be
Benny.
the outro. I think we could take a look at this one real quick.
Some of these names look familiar.
There's just no way you're winning this league. Yeah, the guy that won this league this last year is like crazy good at Dynasty. He's just like a humble genius or something. Wait, is this?
I'm confused here. I'm not seeing his team in here.
Don Vito Corleone, but it's I'm getting sent Alpha Daddy.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was like, what's going on here? Let's see, Benny. I'm kind of confused.
I am as well. I have Bowers in this league also, so it's like,
I think it's the wrong link.
All right, I think it's the wrong link, Benny, because we are both in this league. This could just be a very awkward prank, also, which is funny. I do have to pee. That's my league ID. Oh, okay. I mean, we could take a look at this league. They've got the champion squad right here. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't have my 27 first.
This is a plug.
I got the 110 here.
Will's paying Benny to brag about his league.
I mean, I know no Bowers. My first round pick in the startup year, I didn't get for the finals. No, I don't have any 27 picks. I do have a 26 110 though.
Loving the accent.
And the Cam Ward. Not many Cam Ward starts for this team. A lot of Mac Jones. And then had to get
overrated QB2s, man.
True. Man, when are we going to get the year of the healthy quarterback? Is that ever going to happen?
Next year. It's going to be every wide receiver is going to get 200 plus yards a game.
All the hurt Lamar I bought. All right, Benny, here's what is going to happen. We promise that we will hit the Benny P of all Benny P reviews next Tuesday. Or if you want, I won't pull it up because I'll be doing best ball. drafts. But
That's
you
true.
can ask individual
We'll be here
questions
Thursday.
on the playoff best ball. This is draft and dynasty Q&A. If you see that in the subheader there, and I am doing best ball stream drafts. So obviously best ball vibes for the playoffs. But what channel is this? Dynasty Daddy? Yes, we're talking dynasty. So feel free. I did a ton of these heading into the season, and we were just yapping dynasty takes heading into the year. Appreciate it, Benny. Thank you for your understanding. See you guys next Tuesday. What time do you start? Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You'll find us here yapping about something. Talking about the big Panthers victory over the Rams, and if we think that they can continue the wild run.
If the Panthers win their first game in the playoffs, they'll be 500.
I'm torn, and I'm. I mean, this is not a 0.5 point spread, so I don't know how torn I have to be. But I'm a Lions fan who loves Stafford. Man, I was so happy.
Come on.
But he got his. That's all I cared about was Stafford getting his Super Bowl. That was like the big Lions thing. I was like, you'll never win it with us.
Big Diaz is buttering me up. Team of Destiny, Panthers.
Truly any given Saturday.
Ice Young is going to make an appearance.
Ice Young. Let's go. He did cross 100 passing yards this last game. That was big. It wasn't a win, but
I hope we get 300 rushing yards. I'd rather just have Rico turn back to midseason Rico.
I know. I thought for a second we were gonna get the like wet, nasty field like Rico legacy, Adrian Peterson light game.
He did the freaking fumble.
Dude, Baker. Was it Sean Tucker that Baker knocked over when he handed him the ball? Like he put it in the breadbasket and kind of knocked him backwards because it was so slippery. Oh, ooh. Free for the dang. You heard it here first.
Hey, it's already free, but we do have a
extra free.
League Infused for free for all those mid-January trades.
I appreciate you all. Jeremy, any parting words before your Panthers? I'll give you the floor. The full screen Go Panthers floor.
We're here. Keep pounding.
Mm.
It's going to happen.
Rar.
We are like Thanos. We're inevitable. There's never been a stronger 4 seed in the NFC playoffs.
The Bryce Young Thanos face swap filter would go crazy. I'm gonna work on that on the bathroom. I'm gonna download one of those apps. All right. Appreciate you all. See you Thursday. If you're not here, I'll know and I'll be sad. Just at least stop by and be like, yo, what's up, Will? I'm not going to watch you draft a playoff best ball team, but wanted to say what's up. At least do that, okay? There we go.
You got to drop in for Will.
Yeah, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Come on, what do you guys do at 9 p.m. Eastern time on a Thursday night? I know it's nothing.
There's no Thursday night football either.
Yeah, that's why I did it. And also my wife said it was cool, so that's also why I did it. Let's go. NFC South, bringing it as usual. Classic.
Bringing it as usual. Division of Champions.
That's why I was so close. Hard fought. Who's winning it next year? I mean, I think
Panthers. It's probably the Falcons, to be honest.
Honestly, I don't even know what the best I don't even know if they had odds for division winners who would have the best odds of the 4 teams.
I would love to see the futures. What is the 2029 division odds? Those got to be wild. It's just a 25% chance at that point.
Save your money, guys. All right. From a Falcons fan. There you go. Dude, the Falcons could have been. All right. We don't need to do this right now. We'll need to go pee. All right. Appreciate you all. Go Panthers. Go Lions next year. See you next Tuesday. But first, see you Thursday night. Enjoy your football this weekend. Peace